I have two reviews for you. All right, good to see everybody. Glad you're here today. I tell you what, it was a struggle picking my game today. I was originally going to be playing the casting of Frank Stone because last week during Phobia, there were so many people who said that they wanted to see the casting of Frank Stone. So I bought the game, I installed it, tried to play it, but my computer keeps crashing to desktop every time I try to launch it. It apparently has something to do with my CPU and Unreal Engine 5. I spent like an hour and a half today trying to diagnose it, and the best consensus I could find is that I have to update my BIOS. And I didn't have time to do that. I didn't want to do that right now, so I had to pick another game. Today we're playing a game called Dahlia View, and it's not a new game. It's been out since 2021. But it did recently change its name. It used to be called Conway Disappearance at Dahlia View. So you may have known it as Conway Disappearance for quite some time, but no, now it's called Dahlia View. Anyway, it's been recommended to me in the past. That's the only reason I know about it. And I probably went through 40 different Steam pages today, trying to pick the game that I wanted to play. There were so many that I was like, maybe. And then I would read the reviews and it would be like, oh, no. It was really, I spent way too much time laboring over choosing this game today. So I'm really hoping it's good. I couldn't play it because the way the game is set up, there's no like title menu. It just starts kind of. So I made sure that it could start. And it starts, so we'll be exploring everything about this game together. But it sounds really interesting. Apparently, you're like a detective, but you're handicapped and you're wheelchair bound, but you still got to solve crimes while also saving your daughter, who is also a detective, but she thinks she's invincible or something like that. So compelling story. I'm looking forward to playing it. Good to see everybody in the chat today, all of the regulars, members, Patreon subscribers, all over the place. We are live on Kick, Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube today. Good to see Mini Poppers, Osno, Filmzy on Twitch today. Good to see Adam McKee on Facebook today. Great to see Gomer216 on Kick today. Luke the Vault Dweller on Twitch says, howdy Ox, been a while since I've seen a live. Can't wait to see what happens tonight. Thank you very much. I can't wait to see what happens tonight either. And of course, great to see everyone else on YouTube today. Craig Euler, Alt Grendel, Pickles, The Junkyard Cat, Wyoming Homesteader, Clell Biggs, Chininator, Not Nick Skinner, Kathy Robbins, Craig Euler, Andre 300, Cat 5, Garg Dargus, Tiffany Sailing, Mr. Virus, and it's Cara Aerosmith with the first super chat of the day. Ox, long time no see. With these being later, I've missed some. Happy to be here for this one. Sending love. Thank you very much, Cara. I really wish I could go back to my original time schedule, but that will not be a reality for the foreseeable future. Maybe when my kids are teenagers and they can put themselves to bed. We'll see. We'll see. Man of Culture says, glad I'm not the only one working late tonight. Good to see you, Ox. Good to see a Man of Culture. We'll work late together. Greg says, hi, Ox. No God of War Ragnarok anytime soon, I'm guessing? No. Not anytime soon. As much as I would love to. Who knows? Maybe I'll change my mind. We'll see. Eric Rodriguez says, hey there, Ox. I've got a joke for you. How do you make an egg roll? You push it. I suppose I should have read it, how do you make an egg roll? Because then your mind would have went straight to food. But because I said egg roll, obviously everyone thought pushing it. Hope you have a good night, says Eric. Thank you, Eric. Hope you do as well. Alt Grendel says, everyone knows about Count Dooku, the character from Star Wars, but his wife Sue? She's quite the puzzle to figure out. Sue Dooku. All right. It was all right. Sudoku. All right. Thanks. Finsley says, Oxhorn loved the seersucker shirt. Very fly. How is it that someone in my chat knows that this is seersucker? Thank you. I love seersucker. I didn't get enough opportunities this summer to wear it. So I'm wearing it while I still can, while it's still hot enough outside. Luke the Vault Dweller says, my girlfriend told me to stop singing I'm a Believer or she'd break up with me. I didn't believe her, but then I saw her face. I like it. No, that's a good one, Luke the Vault Dweller. That's a good one. Gomer on Kick says, here's the best joke you'll hear in the next 30 seconds. How do you make a car top? You tap on the brake. All right, so in your culture, you don't pronounce the S's to certain words. How do you make a car top? You tap on the brake. All right. Thank you very much, Gummer. Clueless in Cali says, no notification. I don't know. Not on my end. I always make sure that it's set to public and that I notify my subscribers. I even put a tweet out on Twitter this time. So I don't know what YouTube is doing. And I'm not about to spend my time trying to keep up with it. They want to change the algorithm. That's fine with me. Just going to keep doing what I do. Two of Oregon on Twitch says, hey Ox, haven't seen you live in a very long time. Glad I got the chance to stop by while working. Your old live streams get me through work most nights, lol. Currently watching the Starfield streams. That's great, Two of Oregon. I'm glad someone's watching my old Starfield live streams. I had such a great time playing Starfield, and man, I'm gonna miss playing all those games. I'd love to play Ragnarok. So much I'd love to do. Chandler says, hello, Ox. This is my third live stream in a row. I hope you're having a great night. And what would you recommend for a good scotch? I mean, there are so many great scotches. It just depends on what you're in the mood for. In general, you need to realize that scotch is harsher than whiskey. Like, there are many whiskeys that have developed reputations of being sweet or a little bit tangy, flavored whiskeys, but Scotch isn't that way. Scotch is rough. It's like putting a campfire in your mouth. It's very peaty, kind of woodsy, kind of charcoaly and burnty and mossy. It's that kind of flavor. But if you like that, which I do, Lafroig, Glenlivet, Lagavulin, those are some of my favorite scotches. Alt Grendel gifted 5 Oxhorn memberships to the community. Thank you very much, Alt Grendel, and congratulations to Laura, Robert Moneygold, Sebastian Sanchez, and Bill Bino, and Hellcat. Awesome, well done, my friend. Matt Hladke says, Ox, love ya. Found your channel a few months ago and never realized how much Fallout lore I've missed. Well, that's why I'm here, and I'm glad you stuck around to watch my live streams after watching my Fallout lore. I appreciate it. Stephen Quinn on YouTube says, hey there, Ox, have you thought about playing the Mafia games or Assassin's Creed Ezio collection? I have had that recommended to me on a number of times, both the Mafia games and the earlier Assassin's Creeds. And I'd love to. I don't think they're suitable for Scotch and smoke rings, the kind of games that I play late at night. But if I was doing my daily live streams again, those would certainly be contenders. That's Steven's first super chat. Thank you so much, Steven, for contributing. Theodoric of York says, where'd you get the Fallout statue behind you? I got it at... it's a famous figurine shop. What's it called? I know it. Like, it's there. I can't bring it to the front of my mind at the moment, but it's there. The Wand Collection. The Wand Company. The Wand Company? Something about wands? The Wand Company. Yeah. Is that right? No. No, the Wand Company did the Pip-Boy. Did they do the statue too? I think they did the statue. I don't remember. It was... It wasn't on Bethesda. It was on Gaming Heads. That's what it was. Gaming Heads. Okay. So that's what I got mixed up because there were too many. The Wand Company does the die-cast cars and the Pip-Boys. And then Gaming Heads does the figurines. They've got a great website. They have an entire section of the website dedicated to the Fallout license that they currently have. But they tend to sell out of their stuff as soon as it becomes available. I find it very difficult to snag what I want. Like currently, all they have available are bobbleheads, because literally everything else is sold out. I take that back. They've got some statues of Nate, the sole survivor. But practically everything else is gone. Oh my God, they still have the Deathclaw. Wow. I mean, you want to spend $1,500? $1,500 for a Deathclaw statue. I'm not doing that. And the reason is not because I wouldn't love it. I would love it. But because it doesn't fit in with the lore of my office. Have I ever told you guys that my office has its own lore? Okay, not really. But the idea behind the decorations that I have for my shelves is I'm trying to create the office of somebody who actually explored all of the Fallout games. Like if he was an explorer who took souvenirs back with him from all of the games he played, which means that it can't be in my office if it didn't actually exist in the game or if it couldn't have existed in the game. So, for example, the die-cast cars never existed in the game, but I allowed them because the lore of the die-cast cars is so good because they were the lore of the car is that it was a little model car given to a Chrysler executive after retiring or something like that. And we don't see them in the games, but we could see them in the game, right? They're lore friendly, they work in the world. So that's kind of the idea behind my decorations. But you would never find a statue of a Deathclaw. For obvious reasons, because Deathclaws didn't mutate until after the apocalypse, a time when nobody was making statues of Deathclaws. They have the Mr. Handy in stock, but only the Codsworth edition. Oh, no, they've got them all. They've got the Codsworth edition, the Mr. Gutsy edition, and the default Mr. Handy edition. I'm still waiting for my Nuka Girl statue. I'm really pissed off at gaming heads. Like I purchased a life-size bust of T-45 Power Armor back in 2018. 2018. And then they hemmed and hawed, and they postponed it, and they postponed it, and they postponed it for 4 years until finally canceling it last year, saying, whoops, sorry, we decided not to make it. They came out with the Fallout Nuka Girl statue maybe 3 years ago, and I bought one at that time too, and they still haven't gone into production yet. Really pissed off. All right, how did we get on that? Oh, yeah, we started talking about props, and I went on a rant about gaming heads. I mean, I love gaming heads because their products are amazing. Like, when you actually get it, it's the best quality you'll ever see in your life. But they still piss me off sometimes. Anyway, let's get back to your comments and questions. Wade Speakerman says, hello, Ox. Today is my daughter Ren's 13th birthday. Can you wish her a happy birthday and give her a smoke ship? Dealer's choice. Dealer's choice. I get to choose? A 13-year-old's birth. Well, I don't know anything about your daughter, so forgive me if I make assumptions. But if my daughter's only 10. But at the moment, she loves pink. She loves everything pink. So I'm gonna do a pink ship sailing on a rainbow-colored sea with cotton candy clouds in the sky and glitter. How about that? That one's for Ren. Here we go. Now pay attention. Get your finger on the print screen button. You're going to want a screenshot of this. Here we are. Because once it's gone, it's gone. It'll be lost to time. Wow! Well, I hope you didn't blink, because if you did, you missed it. But for the briefest of moments before your very eyes, in celebration of Ren's 13th birthday, was a pink wooden ship on a rainbow sea, sailing off into the distance, surrounded by cotton candy clouds and glitter sprinkling through the air. I really don't know how I'd do it. It's the way the smoke bends light. You know, if you puff it out at just the right velocity, you can have the smoke bend light to create any myriad of colors that you want. That's how I got that truly vivid pink. I would teach it if I could, but honestly, at this point, it's just something that's like an internal muscle reflex. I don't know how I do it. I really don't. Tiffany Sailing says, today is my husband's 58th birthday, and he really likes your streams. He's watching right now, and he too is a Scotch drinker. Would you wish him a happy birthday? Thank you. Absolutely, Tiffany. Happy birthday to your husband. From one Scotch drinker to another, I hope it's an amazing 58th birthday. Cheers. Greg Williams says, so what would the Lord behind the creepy... Oh, the lore. What would the lore behind the creepy doll hanging upside down mean? As always, you rule, sir. What is your all-time favorite late-night snack? I mean, I'm a sucker for chocolate. I've always loved chocolate. I don't know why. Just like Belgian chocolates are so good. But I can't have them because, you know, bad. Calories bad. I mean, maybe like one of those cream-filled eggs, one of those Cadbury eggs. Oh, just I don't think I could ever get sick of those. As gross as it sounds, I realize that, but midnight snack? If I could, but I can't. Yeah, I don't know what you mean about a baby, like a doll hanging around. I've got my plush on the chair, a variety of plushes, which are still in stock. Only a few left. I've been keeping tabs on how quickly they're going out of the warehouse, and they've only got a few left. So if you want one, snag one now. There will not be another batch. To my knowledge, there will not be another batch being produced. So snag them while you can. But as for an upside-down baby, I think you're imagining it. This goes back to your mass hallucination that I talked about. Sometimes this chat has these mass hallucinations. I don't understand it. Levartation on Kick says, evening Ox, evening Levartation. Good to see ya. Pop Blender says, I've had such a great time watching your Fallout London videos. I've been enjoying the mod myself. What are your favorite things about Fallout London so far? I mean, the consumables, all of the little chems and boxed foods and weird junk items are just a delight. I don't know why I like them as much as I do, but I do. All of the wonderful little devices that you can interact with, like the Atomic Brew dispenser is just amazing. I love that so much. I'm enjoying most of the guns. Some of the guns don't feel really good. Like, I don't like the Fisherman's Friend revolver. It's a weird looking revolver. I don't like the way that it works because it feels like the barrel is kind of stuck to the center of your screen. It doesn't sway like normal. And I find that when you shoot it, the front of the barrel tilts too far up, so it's hard to aim with iron sights. But that's really the only gun that I've used in the game that is difficult to use. All of the others are amazing. Like the service rifle is just phenomenal. Even the scrap rifles, the weird crude guns that they have, are really well done. So there's just so much well done with that mod that it blows me away, which is why I'm loving playing it every single week. Wade Speakerman says, this is hilarious. My daughter is emo and wears all black. Ox, you're perfect. I wish our daughters could meet. I think they'd get along. You should see. My daughter's room has unicorns and watercolors and just like, it's the pinkest, girliest room ever. It's what she loves. And that's fine. Well, it is what it is. I can't change the past. I'm sorry, wait. But that's great. Vince M says, by the way, then again, my daughter's only 10. Maybe when she's 13, she'll be emo too. You never know. Vince M says, by the way, here's a game recommendation. The game is called The Casting of Frank Stone. It plays similar to the games from the Dark Pictures anthology. Yeah, I know, and I actually purchased it to play it today. But as I explained at the beginning of the program, because they're using the Unreal Engine 5, it makes my computer crash to desktop and just completely reboot. And it's apparently a weird BIOS problem with my CPU/motherboard combination. It's apparently really rare, but I managed to find a couple of help forums where other people were experiencing the same issue as me. And it's not just The Casting of Frank Stone. It's any game on Unreal Engine 5 has the same problem. I mean, I used to play Satisfactory all the time, but then they upgraded their engine before the 1.0 release to the Unreal Engine 5, and now I can't log into Satisfactory on this computer, which I used to create this amazing huge factory. So the solution is to upgrade my BIOS. I believe Microsoft and Intel worked together to come out with some sort of fix for it, but I needed a flash drive, and I got to flash my BIOS, and it's a pain in the butt. I don't want to do that. I'll do it someday, but I just don't want to do it today. So we're playing a different game today. Alt Grendel says, do you know why there are so many Chuck Norris jokes but no Bruce Lee jokes? Because Bruce Lee is no joke. Ooh, all right. Bruce Lee is no joke. You know, I read an article, I think it was today, that talked about Bruce Lee's death. And apparently, according to this article, and it's the internet, so take it for what it is, but according to this article, he died because he was on a liquid diet. There wasn't enough sodium in his body, which led to his body collapsing. He was experimenting with an all-liquid diet. He was drinking too much water, which was flushing his system of the sodium that it needs. Our bodies do need salt, some amount of salt. So I thought that was just awful and tragic. So there you go. Drink water, yes, but eat a lump of salt too. Don't forget the bacon. Mark from Sales gifted 10 Oxhorn memberships to the chat. Thank you so much, Mark from Sales. And congratulations to Philip J. Fry, Mike Mangold, Grant Haber, Kim C., Food for Thought, BJ Seward, Russell Romig, Old Man Gameroo, Def Jamma, and Mark Shaw. Mark from Sales says, a pirate walks into a bar. The bartender says, is that a ship wheel on your belt? Looks uncomfortable. And the pirate says, arg, it's driving me nuts. All right, yeah, okay, I'll say that's a good one. Let's give it some applause, though. It's pretty good, yeah. Haven't heard it before. You got a slight chuckle from me. Not bad, not bad. Levartation says, Ox, I wanted to mention last week but couldn't. Little Nightmares 3 isn't made by the same studio. The makers of 1 and 2 are releasing another soon, though. Might be great for Scotch and smoke rings called Reanimal? The original makers of Little Nightmares lost the IP rights to Little Nightmares? You're kidding me. Wow. That's a shame. But I'm suddenly interested in their new game. And, of course, Little Nightmares 3. Cool Man Fight says, Oxhorn, would you play Metro 2033? Already have. Played it many years ago, streamed it live on this channel. You can find my collected playlist of Metro 2033 in the playlist section on my YouTube channel. Levartation says, also, about 4 years ago, I suggested you play Inside with my other YouTube account, and you did. One of the creators made another game out that's called Somerville. It also might be good for Scotch and smoke rings, maybe. I enjoyed Inside. It was quirky. I think I liked Little Nightmares more, but I did like Inside. Somerville. Like Somerville Place. Really weird. I don't think I've seen that recently. Mostly positive lifetime reviews, but mixed recent reviews? Usually it's the reverse. Unless they're being review bombed. Are they being review bombed for something? Interesting. Well, conflicting reports on Somerville, but the art looks amazing. Perhaps I'll have to check it out. Luke the Vault Dweller on Twitch says, have you done the Bioshock games? And in case you haven't, think you'll play them? I have done the Bioshock games. I've done them all, even Minerva's Den, as well as Infinite. And they're all organized in my Bioshock playlists. on my channel. Willie Finball says, if Nuka World was real, would you go there? And what Nuka-Cola would you drink? Nuka-Cola Dark, of course. Yes, I'd go there. I'd also try Wild. Honestly, if I went to a real Nuka World, I would have to try every Nuka-Cola. I mean, you go to Nuka World, you try all the Nuka-Colas. I would have all of the Nuka-Colas delivered every night to my hotel room, and I would just guzzle them all in a bathtub and fill the tub with the caps. That's what I do. Craig Euler says, like a suicide drink? No, not all together. I'm not going to dump them all into the same bucket and drink from... No, one at a time so that you can enjoy the flavor. Get a regular Nuka-Cola down your gullet, then a cherry, then an orange, then a grape. Get all the fruity ones out of the way so that you can then go on to a wild and a dark and a victory, and all of the others. A quartz. Have I listed them all? What am I forgetting? I think I forgot them all. Except for Nuka-Cola, my blood's in it. But that wasn't at Nuka World. Jeff Lone Wolf became a Gold Ox. Thank you so much, Jeff Lone Wolf. Stephen Choza says, will you make proper lore video series for Fallout London? Probably not. Probably not. I have, thoroughly been enjoying it, but it is not canonical lore. And so I probably won't be doing that. However, I might do location videos after I complete the primary plot and I get through the entire game. If there's enough interest, I might explore odd locations. Cat5 says, you're an odd man, Oxhorn. I've been getting that my entire life. And I don't know why. I don't understand it. Like, every job I've worked at, someone I've worked with has always turned to me and said, you know what? You're kind of weird. It was in school. My family says that to me. My mom. Son, you're a little weird. It happens. I mean, I don't know. I'll take your word for it. I'll take your word for it. Chris Tidwell says, what computers did you have growing up? I had an Amiga. I had a Tandy. My very first computer, it was actually my mom's. But she didn't know that it was mine. I adopted it. I took it in the night. She bought a Tandy to help her with her business, and every night I would sneak down into the basement, and I would turn on the Tandy, and we didn't even have internet. I was just blown away by this thing. It was Windows 3.1, and I had 3.5-inch floppy disks. I remember going to my friends, and we would have like this 3.5-inch floppy disk black market, and we would exchange disks. Sometimes we wouldn't even know what was on the disk. Sometimes we knew it was like a game, and the games would be split into like 100 different disks. And in order to get the game to work, you'd have to load in each floppy disk one at a time. It was after the 5-inch floppy disks. I remember that even at that time, when I was dealing with my Tandy, I thought that the 5.5-inch floppy disks were so old-fashioned. They were so old school. But yeah, then I'd put in the floppy disks and load up the games. Had so much fun with that, and I contribute those late-night explorations of just the Windows operating system to really helping me understand how PCs work. And we were kind of hobbyists. My friends and I would go buy old computers. They were old at the time. So you could find these old computers selling for like $30 at a garage sale or something. And they'd come with all the old, their original keyboards and mice. I got this one computer, I forget what it was called, but a teacher gave it to me. I had to write an essay. I won an essay competition for it. And it was his old computer, and he decided to give it away. And it was so old that it had the 5-inch floppy disks. And I remember when I won it, the essay, I said, yeah, I'm going to be using this in college, and I need something to write all my college papers on. It had a dot matrix printer, by the way. It was, I would not have been able to use it in college. But he offhandedly said one day when he gave it to me, he's like, I used to have some video games for this, but I lost them somewhere. I forget where they're at. But I never let him forget about it. I kept on hounding him. Every day I would go into school. I'd say, hey, did you ever find the video games that came with it? I think there was like a parrot game, some sort of pirate game and some sort of exploration game. And finally he says, man, I'm so sad that I gave you this computer. I'm so sad that I picked you as the winner because you just won't stop hounding me about the games. And that's when I stopped. But I would use that one to write. I would write my short stories and my assignments on that one. But yeah, I had older computers when I was a kid. I enjoyed them. Stephen Chosa says, what if we paid you enough to do so? To do what? I lost my train of thought. Oh, to do proper lore videos for Fallout London? I mean, it would really have to be a proper amount. I don't know. I would have to see how they were received. Because I'm discovering that the YouTube community is evolving as time goes on, as content is gravitating towards shorts, as people are moving away from computers and laptops and consuming content predominantly on their phones. YouTube is having to pivot the kinds of content that they promote. And I'm finding that the sort of long-form, episodic content that I make on my channel is not in the winning basket of content that they like to promote. They like to promote really eye-catching content that's, stirs up your emotions, that kind of thing, which is not what I'm really interested in doing. So my videos about the Fallout TV show did really well. And every now and then I'll do a video about a topic that does really well. But my episodic content is not doing quite as well as it used to do. But I'm going to finish it because I started it. And I always try to finish what I start. Unless it's a live stream, in which case that rule doesn't apply. I don't know why. But the Fallout London stuff, I'd have to see. If I ever did, like a dedicated lore series, I'd have to see how they were received, if YouTube promoted them well. And if they did well, then yeah, maybe I would do it. But I don't know. Clell Big says, no shorts. People don't actually watch those, do they? I'm getting more views each week now from my shorts than I am my lore videos. It never used to be that way. Okay, I take that back. So when it comes to my entire YouTube channel, I've made thousands of lore videos. So all of them combined give my channel more views. But when it comes to just the new stuff that I publish every single week, my shorts get more views than my regular lore videos. And it never used to be that way. I published a short just a couple weeks ago that already has over 600,000 views. And it's just a snippet from one of my longer lore videos. The lore video it comes from only has like 200,000 views. So it's just like, consumers are evolving. They want to see something different. And I'm trying to figure out the best way to give them what they want. Mike Mangold says, I remember floppy. I don't want to talk about it. Floppy disks, yeah. Yep. It was a different time. Sarah says, but what's a short make you? 35 cents? Yeah, something like that. I think I made $14 off of the short that made 600,000 views, which is insane. But the point of shorts is not to make money. The point of shorts is exposure. People watch your shorts, they like your shorts, they subscribe to your channel. So that's what you're doing. You're You're not making any money, but you're getting exposure to your channel. Timberjack says, so are you going to put shorts, Oxhorn shorts in the store? Like sell actual shorts? I mean, I used to have a series of machinima videos called Oxhorn's Short Shorts. I called them shorts ever before YouTube called theirs shorts. But I probably won't sell my own Oxhorn brand shorts. The new guy 95 says attention spans are decreasing like a goldfish. I mean, I don't want to agree with you because I tend to be an optimist about the future of humanity. But my personal experience is that you're right. So I want the Star Trek future, not the Fallout future. I enjoy reveling in Fallout and post-apocalyptic stuff. I enjoy that kind of fantasy, but when it comes to reality, I prefer Gene Roddenberry. That's where I kind of hope we go. Robert says, Ox, my friend offered me some trail mix the other day as a snack. She told me, by the way, it doesn't have any raisins or M&Ms or granola in it. I looked at her and said, well, that's just nuts. Trail mix without raisins, M&Ms, or granola. It's no longer a mix, it's just trail. You ate a bag of trail. Vince M says, just a suggestion for Folon. Why not make a few lore videos just to test the waters? I've heard from other YouTube streamers that 45 minutes is a good start. So again, in my experience, even back before shorts were a thing, it was, 15 to 20 minute lore videos did best. Every now and then, when you really wanted to be all-encompassing and cover all of the lore of a particular location, there were certain situations where an hour-plus lore video would do very well. For example, my video on the Secrets of the Institute was well over an hour long. We read every terminal, listened to every holotape. We did absolutely everything there, and it's been doing very well. But with rare exceptions, most people don't want to spend more than 20 minutes on a lore video. Like I said, I've got my docket of content that I'm making. I'm doing my series on the full story of Fallout 4. I'm getting through my Fallout London playthrough. We'll see what I end up doing after that. Chris Tidwell says, you missed Carpy's super chat. Thank you, Chris. Let me see if I can find it. Carpy. My first system was an Apple IIE. So glad I figured out how to put it back together when I got caught taking it apart. They were so expensive in the 80s. Yeah, okay, you got me beat. I was tinkering with PCs in the 90s. So you got a decade on me there. KT says, hey all, it's been a rough couple of months, but things are looking up. So thankful for the community. Here's to Thursday nights and good mental health. Cheers. Thank you, KT. Here's to good mental health to you as well. I'm so glad you can join me this Thursday night. All right, we got about 15 minutes before we dive into the game. If you have any questions, stories you want to share, now's your chance to get them on in. Sarah says, Oxhorn, why don't you post about Fallout London on Twitter? So I used to have a widget installed that would automatically share every video that I published to YouTube to Twitter. And that worked really well for a long time to keep my Twitter followers up to date on everything that was publishing. I ended up disabling it when I started doing shorts because the tool that I was using at the time couldn't differentiate between shorts and videos on YouTube's. It also couldn't differentiate between playlists and podcasts. So every time I made a new playlist, it would spam Twitter about it. It just became a little bit messier. Additionally, I'm publishing my shorts directly to Twitter now, mainly as a way to try and boost my Twitter audience. What I'm starting to see is that many of these social media platforms are sort of evolving. They're turning into the same thing. I mean, Instagram used to be just photos. Facebook used to be just chatting with other college students. Twitter used to be microblogging. Twitch used to be live streaming. But now all of those services allow you to upload short form video content, and they've changed their algorithm to promote that kind of content to get more swipes, to get more interaction. So what's happening is a lot of these social networks are just, they're essentially becoming the same thing with a slightly different interface. So I'm trying to change my content strategy, which means that I'm essentially publishing the same content across all of my different social networks. I publish shorts to Facebook, I publish shorts to Twitter, I publish shorts to Snapchat and to TikTok and Instagram, as well as YouTube. It's the same content, changed very minimally, but I've found great success that way. Like I started with 0 subscribers on TikTok and Snapchat, didn't even have my name, and I just started uploading some of my YouTube content, and they've been exploding. Scotty P says, it's midnight around Boston, so good night, Ox and Chat. Good night, Scotty P. Hope you have a wonderful night's sleep. The Raging Krogan says, what? No Titanic game? You think you're better than me? Think you're a tough guy, hey? Why, just kidding, Ox. Nice pick for this week. Thank you, The Raging Krogan. Maybe we'll tackle the 1997 Titanic game someday. Maybe someday. Jonathan Johnson became a gold ox. Thank you so much, Jonathan Johnson. Gomer on Kick says, did you see my reference to the floppy disk? Oh, yeah. Earlier he said the year is 2246. Disease and hunger have been eradicated. The terraforming of Mars is complete. The symbol for saving is still a floppy disk. And it will be. It has become the universal symbol for saving. And our kids won't know what it means. They won't understand what that little symbol means. They won't get it. Bloodwolf282 says, Ox, since the second season of the Fallout TV show looks like it takes place in New Vegas, do you think we'll see Joshua Graham? I don't think anything, because it's impossible to predict. I don't think it's going to be very likely, so I guess I do think something. But I don't think it's going to be likely because Joshua Graham is part of Caesar's Legion story. And I don't think Caesar's Legion is going to be part of the story of New Vegas. We don't see any legionaries in the streets of New Vegas. We do see House Securitrons. We do see NCR vertibirds. So we know that whatever went on there, it was between House or Yes Man. It could have been Yes Man and the NCR. So it kind of narrows down the number of endings that are possible for Fallout New Vegas. The Legion is not among them. And since it takes place after 2281, according to Todd Howard, but not really because it takes place in 2277, or after 2277. Caesar's Legion will have been long defeated. Either way, Caesar's Legion was defeated first in 2277, and since the NCR, according to Todd Howard, was still existing and existed after 2281, the only way that's possible is if they defeated Caesar's Legion. So the Legion won't exist. And Joshua Graham, we realized that he left the Legion, but he's all the way in Zion Canyon. What would possibly bring him back to New Vegas? I mean, they could come up with a reason. Like, they could come up with one. I just can't think of anything right now that would bring Joshua Graham back. He's a great character. Wouldn't it be great if we could see him in Season 2? But I would rather not see him if they do it poorly. I'd rather not have Season 2 be a who's who of the Fallout series, where we see Marcus, and then we see Joshua Graham, and we see Veronica, and we just, start seeing a who's who lineup of people that we met in New Vegas. I don't want that to happen. If they do bring people from New Vegas into the story, I want them to be a reason. I want them to be wrapped up in the plot. I want them to be important to the plot. I want it to be a good plot, because that's going to lead to greater success. Because we have to remember the vast majority of people who are going to watch Season 2 have never played the games. I was talking with somebody the other day, and we were talking about video games, and I mentioned that I liked Fallout. I don't think she knew who I was, but her eyes lit up, and she's like, Fallout, I saw that show, I love it. I'm like, oh, did you play any of the games? And she's like, well, after the show came out, my friends told me that I should play one of the games, but I didn't want to play by myself because I don't like playing by myself. So I played Fallout 76, and it was all right for a while, but I haven't played it in a few weeks. That sort of thing, right? I think that is, emblematic of the new Fallout audience that the show is exposing us to. So even though the showrunners are going to want to make sure that it's true to the games and that they please gamers, they've got a much bigger audience now. And they have to make a narration, or they have to make a story and a plot that stands on its own. Adam M says, what if they make Hank Courier 6? I mean, that's impossible because the show takes place in 2219. No. 2319? Anyway, it takes place decades after the events of Fallout New Vegas. And Courier 6, his story or her story took place in 2281. So that story's already told. It was told in 2281. We are 20 years into the future. Well, 20 years after 2077 or so. So it's impossible from a character from 2319 to also be a character from 2281. Well, okay, I guess I see what you're saying. But he was never shot in the head. Like, the problem is that the reason that Hank McClane was able to go to Shady Sands to begin with is because he convinced everyone in his vault that there was a great plague. This is something Lucy talked to the Ghoul about. The plague of 77, the plague of 2277. He convinced everyone in the vault that there was a great plague going on, which allowed him to force them all into their rooms. They were all quarantined to avoid getting infected by the plague. Only then was he and Betty able to leave the vault. Otherwise, they would have been seen. And they're trying to convince the vault dwellers that you can't leave the vault until Reclamation Day. But they had to leave the vault to go get Rose back, so they convinced everyone there was a plague, kept them indoors. Hank and Betty were able to leave. But they can't do that forever. How long can you quarantine someone? 3, 4, 5 months? 6 months maybe? I mean, that's cutting it close. How long does it take to travel to Shady Sands and back? Really, of all of the things that we know that Hank actually did, he tracked down his wife to Shady Sands, he tried to convince her to come home, he failed with his negotiation, so he detonated a nuclear bomb. We don't know how long that took, but it couldn't have taken a year or more, which is what it would have had to have taken had Hank also been Courier 6, responsible for defeating Caesar's Legion and doing everything on all of the DLCs and telling his own story. And, you know, he got shot in the head and when did he get a job as a courier? It doesn't add up and it doesn't make sense. They're two completely different characters. The Raging Krogan says, Ox, are you a fan of Opus X cigars? I think I've had them before. I wouldn't say I'm a fan, but I'm not a fan either. There aren't a lot of cigars that are memorable to me. I just like cigars. Stephen Choza says, do you think we'll see the Courier themselves? Also, I think the NCR, which I think is still around, last weekend, moved their capital to Arroyo. I don't think we'll see the Courier. And I think the reason we won't see the Courier is because they don't want to put a face to the player character. Because what we all do when we play the Fallout games is we make our own face. The first thing you do when you play a Fallout game is you design your character. And if they were to put a face to one of the actual playable characters in one of the Fallout games, they're robbing every player who has ever played the game, not only of his or her canonical choices during that game, but also they're robbing that character of his face. And they're not going to do that. I don't think Todd Howard would ever let them do that because he understands the impact of doing something like that. So no, I don't think they'll ever show the Courier themselves. Now, as for the NCR moving their capital to Arroyo, that's totally plausible. We don't know. Like, we know that Shady Sands was the former capital of the NCR. So we don't know where the new capital was. It could have been Arroyo. Yeah, it very well could have been. Mikey Plays says, hola, how's it going this Thursday? Saw my niece and my brothers. Mine is good. That's great, Mikey Plays. I'm glad you got to see some family. Glad you're here today. The Raging Krogan says, the cigar broke up with the cigarette. The cigar stated, sorry, but I'm looking for something with a little more length and a slower burn. Ooh. Cigarette wasn't robust enough. Sarah says, proud to be a member of the 4.5 years. What is time? Thank you, Ox. Thank you, Sarah. What is time? I can hardly believe it's been 4.5 years as well. Sinferno says, well, they gave a canonical face to Revan for Star Wars The Old Republic. Yeah, but that's Star Wars. I mean, if we start counting all of the lore inconsistencies for the Star Wars universe, it would take up as many pages as there are pages of canonical lore in the Star Wars universe, right? It's the Star Wars IP is the poster child of how not to maintain a continuous IP. Like every book, every game in some way conflicts with everything else that's been made. So I'm not surprised they did something like that. They at least try with Fallout. Sometimes they fail, but I do genuinely believe that they really, really, really try. And that became apparent in the show as well. Stephen Choza says, who says the Courier's face needs to be revealed? They could have it hidden behind some form of Ranger helmet. Right, your Courier wore the Ranger helmet. What if my Courier didn't? What if my Courier sided with the Legion and my Courier wore Legate Lanius's helmet? That's the problem with putting a playable character in any live-action remake of a show. especially if it's a playable character that you can customize. If it's something like Halo, where it's Master Chief and you can't control the personality of the character, you just control his movement, then yeah, that's fine. But if you're putting a character that you can completely control, including face and voice and gender and options and dialogue, then having that person be cast in stone as someone you're not takes a lot of control away from the player and makes playing those games less enjoyable for a lot of people. I don't think they would ever do that, especially since it's completely unnecessary. You don't need to tell a good story by putting Courier 6 in it, right? You don't have to. You can tell a great story without putting Courier 6 in it. This is one of my frustrations with the Fallout show. They took liberties that they didn't have to do. I love the Fallout show. They did a great job. It deserves every Emmy that it was nominated for, but I would have never bombed... Okay, spoilers. Don't watch it. I would have never bombed Shady Sands. Completely unnecessary. I would have never destroyed the NCR. Completely unnecessary. I would have never brought the Pridwin from the East Coast to the West Coast. It's never explained why it's there. It doesn't have a role in the game, in the show whatsoever. It's just a backdrop item, but it has such huge lore ramifications that they either didn't think about or that they're saving for season 2. Completely unnecessary. They could have told a wonderful Brotherhood of Steel story without bringing Arthur Maxson and the Pridwin all the way from the East Coast to the West for some untold reason. They could have told a really good story without bombing Shady Sands. It literally could have been any village. Because the point of bombing Shady Sands is that Hank did a crime against humanity. But Shady Sands wasn't the only humanity. There could have been any town, any village of humanity. They could have created another Megaton. Right? Megaton wasn't affiliated with any faction. It was just a town filled with people. And when it was destroyed by a nuke, as Mr. Burke could have done, it was a crime against humanity, and it was an impactful moment in the story of Fallout 3 without having any endgame ramifications towards any of the factions. That's what they could have done, and they chose not to do that. Why? Because it packed a bigger punch? No, it just pissed some of the fans off, because by destroying Shady Sands, you alter the timeline of the game. Like, it changes where that timeline can go. It changes the story that Bethesda can tell about the NCR in the future. It limits their ability to tell that story in the future. That's now in the hands of the showrunners, of the Fallout showrunners. And now we've got to wait, and we got to see what happens in the next season of the Fallout show to be able to understand what's going to happen to the NCR. Not that Bethesda's ever going to set another game on the West Coast again. I don't think they ever will. But what if, they hire Obsidian to make another West Coast version of Fallout? It limits your options. And the reward for doing that is so minimal. Because the vast majority of people who are watching the show don't know what Shady Sands is. They don't know what the NCR is. They're watching the show for the first time. It could have been literally any city. It's only impacting the fans who are going to be pissed off that you're destroying Shady Sands. Why? Why go out of your way to have controversy like that? I love the show. I really do. It's got a lot of great things, and it deserves every Emmy that it's been nominated for. But there are a few storyline moments I would have never chosen if it had been me. The Raging Krogan says, let's hope this game doesn't start or end with the villain staring into your eyes awkwardly for the rest of eternity. Wasn't that just an awful ending? To Phobia? My God, that was so bizarre. Grievous Reborn says, George Lucas never saw anything that he wasn't his 6 movies. Clone Wars TV show and movie as part of his Star Wars canon. Are you trying to say that George Lucas doesn't consider anything outside of his 6 movies to be Star Wars canon? That's fine, but George Lucas no longer owns the rights to Star Wars, so his opinion no longer matters. The people who own the IP to Star Wars are the ones who can say what's canonical and what isn't. It doesn't matter what George Lucas wants anymore. which of course is awful to say because Star Wars is his brainchild, but it's the reality. He no longer owns it. But even then, before he sold it to Disney, he licensed a bunch of authors to make Star Wars books. And if you're going to do that as the protector of your IP, you got to make sure that every book that comes out is something you would have written yourself, that it tells a story that maintains the integrity of your world. And maybe he did. I haven't read all of the Star Wars books, but I've heard people say that the books conflict with the movies, which conflict with the games, which conflict with the comics, that they all conflict, and that they don't work together at all in any way. So, but what do I know? I've seen the movies, and that's it. I haven't read any of the books or played many of the games. Bloodwolf282 says, Ox, the one character we need to see in Season 2 is Fisto. We all need more Fisto. All right, if we saw Fisto, I would not be upset. Steven Chosa says, which is why I believe the show will end with the NCR retaking SoCal after a final battle at the observatory and beginning to rebuild the area. I don't think that'll happen at all. I don't think we'll ever go back to the observatory. I think the observatory is now in the Brotherhood's hands, just like Fort Atlas is in the Brotherhood's hands. I think it's that they very purposefully went out of their way to make sure that the NCR base was at an observatory so that when the Brotherhood inevitably wins, they're yet again going to be owning yet another observatory in the Fallout universe that's acting as a base. I don't think that was an accident. I think that was deliberate. I also don't think that they're going to be revisiting sets in subsequent seasons. I think they're going to go out of their way to make sure that they take us to new locations and new places in these subsequent seasons. So I doubt very much that we're ever going to come back to the observatory. I do think that they can't end the NCR story like that. So the NCR will emerge again. They will show up again. And when they do, we're going to find out where their new capital is. We're going to find out where they've been for the past 10 years. We're going to find out why they didn't ever come back to Shady Sands and start rebuilding. We're going to find out whether or not Moldaver was a sanctioned member of the NCR and she was working for them, or she was just rebuilding what they had left behind. These are all of the questions that they never answered at the end of Season 1 that I really hope they answer in Season 2, because at the moment, there are so many things that just don't make sense by themselves. But if properly explained, they could make sense. And I hope they do that. Alt Grendel says, time Oxhorn. Thank you, Alt Grendel. It is time. It's time to dive into the game. Blood Eagle says, how would you feel about a Fallout 1/2 remake in the style of New Vegas and or Fallout 3? I'm open to it. I tend to hesitate remaking games that already exist. I mean, how many remasters of The Last of Us have we gotten? I hear we're now getting remasters of Horizon Zero Dawn, which doesn't need to be remastered. That said, Fallout 1 and 2 are really, really old games. And I got them to work on my PC. I enjoyed that sort of isometric style of RPGs from the 90s. But there are so many people who don't like that kind of gameplay, which makes the stories of Fallout 1 and 2 inaccessible to them. Which is why I made my series to begin with. I made my series on Fallouts 1, 2, and Tactics primarily because those games are so inaccessible to so many people, and I wanted to make sure that those stories were told. So from that perspective, I think remastering those games is a great idea to make those stories more accessible to more people so that more people get exposed to the foundational lore of the Fallout universe. I think that's great. But from a personal perspective, I've already played those games. I've already enjoyed those stories, and personally, I'm not that interested. I don't really want to play them again. But I think they should probably exist so that more people could enjoy those stories. The Raging Krogan says, would you play Star Wars The Force Unleashed? I don't know. I'm really pissed off with the Star Wars games at the moment due to the whole glitched game save issue. And if they don't care about their audience, if they don't care about their player base enough to make sure that that kind of thing just can't happen, then I'm not going to be interested enough in playing another Star Wars game. Steven shows us as the fusion generator guarantees a return to it. Why? So, Moldaver is dead. She was the one who was interested in cold fusion. Sure, word is going to spread far and wide that the Brotherhood of Steel now has this great big epic power plant that's providing free energy to everywhere. But just because we visited Project Purity in Fallout 3 doesn't mean we went back to it in Fallout 4. Yeah, in Fallout 3, the Brotherhood managed to get Project Purity to work. It was providing free, purified water to the wasteland. That's the sort of thing that everyone in the area is going to want to be a part of. They're going to want to own it. They're going to want to take it. They're going to want to visit it. They're going to want to buy from it. Yet we haven't been there since Fallout 3. So I don't think the existence of cold fusion at the observatory means that we're going to be going back there in the story. I think it just means that, yeah, the Brotherhood now has unlimited power. I think all that does is set up a narrative reason to empower the Brotherhood. I think what they're doing is they're showing us a Brotherhood that was kind of weak and small and isolated, but won a really important battle, was bolstered by the Brotherhood from the East Coast with the Pridwin and Arthur Maxson arriving, then getting their hands on infinite power in the form of cold fusion, thus turning the Brotherhood into a West Coast dominating force. And that West Coast dominating force is going to need to be met in battle by insert something here. Is it going to be the NCR? Maybe. Is it going to be House? Maybe. Is it going to be Caesar's Legion? Probably not. But maybe, right? That's all I think Cold Fusion is doing. It's setting up the Brotherhood to be powerful, as they will likely be in Season 2. But I could be wrong. Maybe we will come back to the observatory. The new guy 95 says, prediction, Raul is in Season 2 because of Danny Trejo. I mean, I'd love to see Raul. Wouldn't that be great? Roland Placois says, hey, Ox, just got my very first corncob tobacco pipe. Got any tips for a new pipe smoker? Yeah, corncob pipes are easy to burn through. Trust me, I have burned through my fair share of them. Corncob is a fine pipe material, but it's not as sturdy as briar wood. Most tobacco pipes are made with briar wood, and briar wood literally, like, it can't burn. Like, you have to put it under the flames of a jet, and then it'll crisp up. But corncob can burn. It's fire resistant, but if you get it hot enough, it will burn, and you can burn a hole through it. So if you're smoking a corncob pipe, you got to be very careful to not suck on your pipe too much, really. You don't want the embers to be red for too long. That's my only recommendation there. The Raging Krogan says, you don't need to worry about game-breaking bugs. It was made by a different producer in 2008 and covers an alternative of what happens in Jedi FA. Okay, well, good to know. I really don't care enough about the Star Wars universe to play it. Really? I've never really been interested in Star Wars. I played the new Star Wars games because they were recommended to me and because the gameplay was fun. But in terms of lore and story, like, I really don't care about Star Wars. But that's just me. Roland says, any tips on how to keep a tobacco pipe lit? No. Tobacco pipes notoriously go out all the time. So you're going to have to constantly relight it. And that's just the way a tobacco pipe is. What you can do is you can take like a needle or an unwound paper clip or something and poke a hole in the middle of the tobacco pile, in the middle of your pipe. That creates a little bit of a chimney that the fire can get down into. That's going to help with flame flow through the tobacco to, make sure that it actually starts to burn down. But it's also just the nature of smoking a tobacco pipe that it goes out all the time, because you're supposed to take a puff and then hold it in your hand while you're talking with people or drinking something. And, within 30 seconds, if you're not, puffing it again, it's going to go out. which is why I switched to cigars, incidentally. I didn't want to have to constantly relight my pipe. I didn't want to have to constantly deal with tongue bite. I like tobacco pipes. I like the feel of them. I like the vibe of them. But when it comes to actually smoking them, they're just high maintenance. You're constantly lighting it. You got to pack the pipe properly, which itself is an entire art form. This is packaged and ready to go. And it's going to stay lit most of the time. Like, I've been talking so long that this is probably out. Yeah. But usually you don't have to relight it. Okay. I'm 15 minutes over. All right, let's dive into the game. Let's see what this game is all about. Stephen Chauza says, I think there will be internal divisions within the Brotherhood of Steel that explode if we learn that the Brotherhood of Steel helped Hank destroy Shady Sands, weakening the Brotherhood of Steel. That's an interesting theory. Why would they do that, though? Like, what's in it for the Brotherhood? I mean, yeah, the NCR is their old enemy, but when we find them in 2319, they're in a weakened state. So clearly, whatever arrangement they made with Hank didn't pan out well for them. Plus, they're sort of not needed. The entire point of Season 1 was to tell us that Vault-Tec had everything they needed to destroy the world. They had all of the power to launch all of the nukes. They had their finger on the nuclear launch buttons for every American nuke in the entire planet. The Brotherhood's not needed for this at all. Like, Hank as a Vault-Tec executive and Betty could have done it by themselves. All they needed were nuclear access codes. And as we've learned from Fallout 76, it's not that hard for one person to gain access to a nuclear silo and launch a nuke, as long as you have the right nuclear access codes. So no, I don't think the Brotherhood was needed for that. The Raging Krogan says, are there disposable tobacco pipes? Possibly. If there are, I don't know about them. I think corncob pipes are as disposable as you're gonna get. Roland Placois says, now what about packing a pipe properly? Any tips, Ox? Yeah, all right, so to pack a pipe properly, please pay attention. So take your pipe, okay? Take your loose leaf tobacco and let it rain down into your pipe. Let it rain down in until it fills it up. Then take a pinch of tobacco, put it on top, and kind of wedge it down in a little bit. And then take your pipe bowl and put your thumbs on either side and curl your thumbs in towards the center. Then move the bowl of the pipe and curl your thumbs in towards the center. Do that over and over again until you tamp down the mound of tobacco that's in the middle. Then feel it. If it feels really spongy, like if you can push down into it, go get another pinch of tobacco from your loose leaf bag and plop it down on top. Then put the bowl in your hands again and use the sides of your thumbs to curl towards the middle to tamp it down. Then turn the bowl and keep doing that until it gets tamped down. You want it to be kind of spongy. You don't want to be able to push down into it, but you also don't want it to be firm. If it's firm, then it's going to burn really hot and really slow, and it's going to create a lot of tar, and it's going to be bitter. If it's too loose, then it's going to burn really fast and really hot, and it's going to sting. It's going to bite your tongue. It's going to give you tongue bite. So you want it to have a little bit of movement to it, but not too soft and not too hard. See what I was saying about how it's a little complicated, which is why I prefer cigars. Then you can light the tobacco, just singe the top layer until all of the little loose leaf pieces on top are burning. Take a couple puffs, then let it die down and turn into gray ash. Once it turns into gray ash, take your tamper and crush the gray ash on the top to make a little bit of an ash seal. You might need to do that 2 or 3 times until you've built up like 0.5 millimeter of ash that sort of seals the top of it. Then light it and smoke it like normal. You should be ready to go. All right? Stephen Choza says that assumes the nuke was a missile. No, that's a great point. They could have been sitting on a nuclear reactor or something that they could have caused to explode underneath. Like the Divide, like what happened in the Divide. It could be that. Okay, I'm trying to get to the game. Let me fire up the game. Here we go. Dahlia View. Okay, here we go. Select language, English, subtitles enabled. Brightness, nice. Audio. Here we go.
And now, we interrupt.
Adam M. gifted 5 Oxhorn memberships. Thank you, Adam, and congratulations to Lady LaFay, Sultan Vinegar, Runs in Circles, and Herb Thompson, as well as David Norrell. Christmas Eve, 1940. Homes across the nation await the king's speech at this darkest hour. Yes, but Unreal Engine 4, I'm assuming. That wasn't a key. That was a lock-picking tool. Oh no, it's your kid's room. Oh no, it's the baby's room.
Jenny, come on. You're going to miss it.
Tell them to start without me. I need to check on Marie.
She'll be fine. You don't need to check on her every 5 minutes. Come on, it's starting.
Okay, you're right.
Baby nappers? Oh no. Baby nappers in London town. Oh. June 22nd, 1954. Dahlia View.
For the best part of my later years, I worked as a private investigator. I'd seen many a terrible case. Sadly, most of them unresolved. But in 1954, something terrible and far closer to home happened that I could not avoid. And it happened right here, in Dahlia View. The police are here. What on earth is all the commotion?
Okay. I am now in control. Alt Grendel says Ox is leaving the lights on this time because he's afraid an evil baby doll might attack. Well, you are right about one thing. I did forget to turn off the lights. I'll do that now. Bear with me. God bless you with a 1-up sticker tip. Thank you so much. God bless you. Blue Thunder 29 says, oh, a new game, never played before, set in a Second World War year in the beginning intro, I see. That's correct. Though we are now far beyond World War II. I believe it's 1954 now. And we finally have control of our character. Okay, we can't walk, so... What? Are we playing him? All right, the only thing we can interact with is the wheelchair.
Now, where's my camera? I need to see what's going on outside my window.
Conway's flat. Wassid. All right, Wassid, nice. Can I look around it? Okay, let's go to the window. Scoot, scoot, scoot.
I need my camera.
Oh, fine. Here, get the camera. Let's see what else we got. We got books, cups. Let's take the camera.
Now, I can get a closer look.
Stop investigating. Okay, so this is the investigation scene. Was there anything over here? Yeah. What does that icon mean? I bet it's a save game.
What on earth is all the commotion? Theodore and Annabelle McKee, I believe. I really should get to know my neighbors better. Smashed plant pot. I must have slipped through it.
So
I
it's a
should have
crime
come to
scene.
my window sooner. That's Tony Morgan's blood. My God, I hope he's all right.
Who's Tony Morgan?
Please let him be all right. Harold Levy owns most of the flats in Dahlia View. I wonder if he saw something.
Roland Plaquois says, any tobacco flavors or brands you recommend? Loose leaf tobacco, I recommend anything that's an English blend, and I do not recommend anything that's flavored. No vanilla, no chocolate, no apricot. You don't want anything that has any sort of sugary syrup that's been added to the mixture. You want something that's been aged. It's okay for the tobacco to have been aged in such a way that it brings out, chocolatey notes or woody notes or something like that. But anything actually flavored with a flavor, you don't want that. Right, but got some children's chalk. Is that a tire mark? It is. B.
I'm not zoomed in enough to see.
Possible chloroform drugging.
Chloroform? What on earth?
I mean, there's a slipper on the roof. Is that not important? Right, well, I'm not getting anything else out of this crime scene. Oh, hello.
Old Mrs. Doer. She's usually peering through her window watching our neighbors. It's past her bedtime.
Might have seen something. Okay, so the camera lens gets a little yellow. It gets a yellow border whenever something like that, see?
Bound during abduction. Dear God. Charlotte May, Mr. Morgan's daughter, has been kidnapped. Shirley Downs. She runs the Crow's Nest. Her office overlooks the courtyard.
So she may have seen something too. Crow's Nest, her office overlooks the courtyard. I'm surprised that that slipper didn't have anything to do with it. Okay, well, I think that's it. Nope.
A kidnapping right on my doorstep. Who doesn't bear thinking about? Imagine if it was Catherine. Time to pay my neighbors a visit and see what they know.
Oh, God. This is so awkward. There we go. Objectives. Something has happened in Dahlia View. But what? I need my camera, go to the window, talk to the residents. Those are my objectives. Lady Doer. These are the clues that I got. Lady Doer is an elderly widow who occupies the old manor house next door to my block of flats. Last we spoke, she seemed to have little time for me and handed me a brooch. She lives alone, and I think it's safe to say that most people in Dahlia View know little to nothing about her. Her house looks like the perfect place to hide someone, old, dark, and mostly abandoned. Shirley Downs is the landlady of the Crow's Nest, the pub where the searchers for Charlotte May are meeting. Other than the noise from the nightlife, I don't ever hear from her. She's always looked like a confident person from afar. I was surprised to see how unnerved she was when talking about Harold Levy. It'll be interesting to find out more about her when I can get around to it. Harold Levy is my landlord and the owner of Levy & Sons Garage. He holds a lot of power in Dahlia View. Until now, he's kept to himself and not given me reason for concern, most likely because I pay my rent on time. He was very rude when we spoke, and if looks were to go by, I wouldn't put much past this man. Annabelle McKee is a housewife and married to Theodore. I believe her sister, Shirley Downs, is the landlady of the Crow's Nest pub. Okay, so they're sisters. McKee and Downs are sisters. Annabelle seems a little odd when we spoke and had strong opinions of her neighbor, Mrs. Doer. I wouldn't go as far as to say cruel, but she's clearly a person of harsh views and seems overeager to share. I don't know her well enough to judge just yet, but she has got my attention. And finally, Theo McKee. Theodore works at Levy & Sons Garage as a mechanic on the odd occasion. I see him leave the gate carrying various musical instruments. When we spoke, he seemed to want his wife, Annabelle, to say a little less to me than she did. Perhaps he didn't want her to give something away? On the other hand, he did seem eager to join the search party. If experience has taught me anything at all, I should at least keep a sharp eye on him. I have a feeling these... Okay. We haven't talked to anyone yet, but we already have essentially what his thoughts about talking to them are. All right, that phone piqued my interest a little bit. There we go. Phone. Okay, book. The Inner Workings of the Criminal Mind. All right, so this is a tutorial on the examining mechanic. Well, the phone, however, doesn't work. I can already tell you this wheelchair is going to drive me crazy.
I must ask Catherine if she'll get me some more shopping.
Ration book, Ministry of Food, 1953 to 1954. Found return to any food office. Okay, that's it. Oh. Tickets. Riverport Pavilion, The Fall of a King. Ticket of admission, Saturday the 26th of June, 1954 at 7:30 p.m. The Fall of the King, starring Sylvan Hitchcock. Admission $150. Riverport Pavilion, The Fall of a King. 2 tickets, though. I wonder who he's taking. Welcome to Pinwheel. Hello, old friend. To answer your question, things are the way they always have been for me. You know the drill. I'm sorry to hear about your situation. I myself am starting to forget the odd thing here and there. Jim's worried as usual. We're going to have to face it, old boy. We're getting old. Anyway, look at it like this. You always did like sitting on your ass all day. Now you can do it without being told you're lazy. I promise I'll visit soon and show a little bit more respect. Jean sends her love. All the best, Fletch. Okay, now we can leave. Movement style standard, camera centric. What's camera centric? Oh, the camera stays with me. Okay. Oh my God. Nope, that's standard too. No! Stairs! No! A detective's greatest foe. No! No, 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 no. Stop. No. 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 Okay, well, that's the way to the exit. We got some flats over here. Okay, dead end. Let's go outside. Whee! Dahlia View Terrace. Can we read that? No. Basement access. Nope, can't go there. Oh dear. Okay, so we've got names of everybody who lives in these flats. And a stamp. Postage revenue. I shall take it. I'm sure that'll be important later. Preston Garvey says, so far this reminds me of the movie The Rear Window. Well, have to take your word for it. I've never seen it. Chris Tidwell says, ox plus wheels equals interesting gameplay. Yeah, trying to control this thing is, it's a bit tricky.
Charlotte May could only be 7 or 8 years old. Why would someone want to take her? It doesn't make any sense.
So a baby was kidnapped 7 or 8 years ago in 1940 something or other from a crib. And then this Charlotte May was just kidnapped in 1954 in a different kidnapping. Hi.
Hello, Mr. Conway.
Good evening.
Terrible what's happened, isn't it?
So you know what happened?
They're looking for a kidnapper. A search is about to start in the Pine Woods.
My sister, Shirley, she owns the pub across the way. The searchers are all meeting there first.
What do you know about the kidnapping, Mr. Conway?
Not much. That's why I'm talking to the pair of you.
You should talk to the old busybody over in her big manor house.
Mrs. Doer.
She knows everything that goes on here. I wouldn't be surprised if she saw the kidnapper.
I wouldn't be surprised if she was the kidnapper.
That's an awful thing to say.
Well, have you seen her? Always fawning over that little girl. All alone in that big house. Plenty of room to hide someone.
I can see that you've put a lot of thought into this, Mrs. McKee.
A little too much, love.
Well, I'm not the only one who thinks it.
Oh, blast. What time is it?
It must be a little after midnight by now, surely.
The search is starting without me. I have to get my coat. You'll forgive me, Mr. Conway?
Yes, good night.
Good night, Mr. Conway.
We'll talk again soon.
Charming. But yeah, it looks like the entries that we read were referencing some of the conversation pieces that we're just now getting. Can I go out there? Well, there's someone out there. Can I look closer, zoom in? I cannot. Nick Valentine says it's Oxhorn's driving school all over again on wheelchairs. Can we go down the stairs? Wouldn't it be great if you could accidentally kill this poor guy just by going down all the stairs in the game? Ah! Game over. Over and over and over again. It's probably not funny though, is it? No, I'm probably being incredibly cruel and awful right now. That's why they didn't include it in the game. Right. Signs of struggle.
So the kidnapper smashed this during the altercation.
Smashed during attack. Okay, but he stole a kid. He kidnapped a kid. Was this in the kid's room?
Mr. Morgan must have taken quite a hit. Good evening, Mr. Levy.
Evening.
How strange times we live in when a girl can be taken on your doorstep.
You ain't wrong. It's a bloody mess.
Did you see what happened at all?
Nah.
How well did you know Charlotte May? You lived next door. You must have seen her a lot.
I hope they're gonna clean all this mess up tonight. I got a business to run.
I'm sure this must be a great inconvenience to you.
That reminds me. Rent day tomorrow. Don't be late.
I haven't forgotten.
Good. Keep it that way, and we'll get along just fine.
May I ask what you were doing tonight?
No.
Not one to talk. Jeez. Ugh. Keep getting stuck on corners. Yeah.
Excuse me, Mr. Conway. May I have a moment?
Oh, we gotta go there first, huh? All right. I'm curious about these tire tracks on the ground. We can't seem to interact with them. The game wants us to talk to the old lady first.
It never fails to amaze me what some people are capable of.
I wish I could sprint. I wish I could hold shift to just wheelie a little faster. Maybe if we collect some upgrades or something. You know, copper wire, a little bit of petrol, we can put an engine on the wheelchair and just zip around a little faster. You think they've got crafting in this game? Huh. Well, I can investigate this, but I can't interact with it. But I think it'll probably be important for later. All right, lady, what'd you see? Wait, hold on. No.
Do you know what's happened?
Never mind all that. Your daughter is a police officer, is she not?
She is.
Here, I found this.
A Dahlia brooch.
What's this then?
A brooch. I found it on the floor here. It probably belonged to that poor girl. Thought I'd better pick it up before Shirley Downs gets her mitts on it.
What do you mean by that?
Never mind. Perhaps you can make sure it finds its way to your daughter.
I will, and thank you for telling me.
Just doing my duty.
Can you tell me what you meant about Shirley?
Good night, Mr. Conway.
Did you see anything else at all?
Just make sure to give your daughter that brooch.
That's it. I guess we'll have to call up the daughter and broach the topic.
Who would tie up a small child? Miss Downs, do you have a moment?
I'm sorry. What did you say?
I can come back if you need some time.
No, it's fine. I'm just... I can't believe this is happening so close to home. Well, maybe I can.
What do you mean by that?
Not everyone in Dahlia View is as they seem, Mr. Conway.
Miss Downs, who are you referring to?
That son of a bitch right there, with the smug look on his face.
Mr. Levy?
Why not? I mean, what do you really know about him?
Well, I pay him my rent once a fortnight, but no other than that. I didn't really speak to the man.
Well, sadly I do. He's up to something. You must have noticed all the strange deliveries, coming and going at night.
You think he took Charlotte May?
I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm sorry. Miss Downs, what are you basing this on?
Experience, Mr. Conway. You'll excuse me, I need to help the police with their search.
There's Mr. Morgan.
Scoot. Don't mind me, I'm scooting by. I gotta scoot. I was caught up on the frickin' picture. No! I wanna go up the ramp. I can't. I'm frickin' stuck. Okay. Go talk to Mr. Morgan. All right, frickin' find Mr. Morgan. Morgan. Hi, Mr. Morgan. Oh, what's that? Hold on, did I see that? Hold on, stay there, Mr. Morgan. I don't remember this. No, I do. All right, I'm coming, Mr. Morgan. Stay right there. I gotta talk to you.
Hello, Mr. Morgan. My name is Robert Conway. I live in flat 23.
Yes, I've seen you around, Mr. Conway.
Well, you see, I thought I'd better come over and check you're okay. Some of our neighbors seem to be content just to stare. I'm so sorry to hear about your daughter.
Very kind of you. I'm sorry, but I'm late joining the search. I've been talking to the police for over an hour.
Of course, I understand. The police officer you spoke to was most likely my daughter.
Is that so?
Yes, she's a very determined young lady. If anyone is going to find your daughter, it's her. I was once a private investigator myself, so I know how her mind works.
Well, it's comforting to know I'm surrounded by such competent minds, Mr. Conway.
I'd like to offer my services too, if you'd permit me.
That's very kind, but I don't have money, I'm afraid.
Mr. Morgan, no. I'm a father myself. I meant to say that I'm at your disposal.
Very generous, but the police said that...
All I'd be doing is observing and talking to people. And if I find anything, I'll be sure to share it with Catherine.
Catherine?
My daughter, the police officer.
Right, of course.
That reminds me. I have this brooch. Does this mean anything to you?
That's Charlotte May's.
Do you see how the simplest detail can be overlooked? Even by the police. Best to have as many eyes on the case, in my experience.
I see your point. May I have it back, please?
Would you mind if I kept onto it for a day or so, in case it proves to have some use?
Yes, of course. If you think it would help. I would very much like you to return it, though.
As soon as I have something to report back to you. You have my word.
So, where do you suppose you'd begin?
Well, right here.
In Dahlia View?
Yes. It's my experience that it's usually someone who knows the victim.
Do you mean to tell me that one of my neighbors has my girl?
No. I'm merely saying that it's a logical place to start.
Now I see. That's why the police searched my house. Because I'm a suspect, I suppose.
That's the way it works, I'm sorry to say.
So they're not even looking for the real kidnapper?
I can assure you they will be.
Tell me, Mr. Conway, and be honest. Are you going to look for my girl?
I promise you, I'll stop at nothing until I find her. For now, I need you to think of anyone who could have taken Charlotte May.
I don't know.
Think. Anyone or anything at all.
Mr. Conway, who do you know who could do such a thing?
I see your point. Well, for now, perhaps try to get some rest. Charlotte May needs you to be strong for her.
You'll excuse me, Mr. Conway. I'm going to join the search and find my little girl.
That's fair enough, Mr. Moore. Good night. And good luck.
Good night, Mr. Conway.
That was it was a slightly contentious conversation. Mr. Conway meant well, but he wasn't exactly sensitive, I don't think. I should return home to piece together the information I've collected. Right. Let's see if these updated at all. No, these are all the same as when we got them. But now we've got a stamp collection. Cool. Right, let's go home and piece together our clues. See if we can track down our daughter and give her the brooch. Oh no, it's uphill.
Dad?
Catherine. I thought I might bump into you tonight.
Well, I shouldn't be here, what with you living so close. Conflict of interest and all.
Are you finished here?
Almost, yes. Are you okay?
Yes, I'm fine. It's poor Charlotte May I'm worried about. Anyway, look at you. I rarely get to see you in your uniform. You look good.
Thank you. I wish it was a little more comfortable.
Catherine, can I ask, what have you found?
I'm not allowed to tell you. You know that. Besides, I don't have all the details myself, and my sergeant isn't exactly forthcoming with new recruits.
Hang in there. You're an asset. They'll come to see how intelligent you are.
Thank you. All I can say is that it looks as though Tony Morgan's daughter has been kidnapped.
Awful news. May I ask why they're searching the Pine Woods? Do they know where the kidnapper went?
No. It's a dead end. We're clueless, but we can't be seen to be doing nothing. And the locals suggested the woods, so...
Dear God. I perhaps wonder if I should talk to my neighbors again.
Hang on, again?
Yes, Catherine, I've been thinking, and...
Dad!
What?
I know this is happening on your doorstep, but please don't get any ideas.
I'm a naturally curious person, you know that.
You don't do this anymore. Leave it to us, please.
Well, do the police have any ideas?
Dad, I mean it. Don't get involved.
Well, I'd like to help you.
I want to do this on my own.
I didn't realize what this means to you.
I meant to say... I want to do it the right way. By the book. Please promise me.
Okay. I promise. I'll leave the police work up to you.
Thank you. Anyway, I'd better be off. I have to make a statement before the morning press. My sergeant is finally trusting me with something.
Well, you'd better hurry. I'll look out for your article in the morning paper.
Right. I'm off. Please go back inside. You'll catch a chill.
Night, my love.
Night, Dad.
Roll credits. End game. He's gonna keep his promise to his daughter. He's not gonna get involved.
The last thing I want is to upset Catherine. I can tell how serious she is about her case. I've never seen her so driven. I suppose I'll still develop the photos I've taken of the crime scene. I might have captured something that the police did not. And I won't be stepping on Catherine's toes if I stay in my flat and out of the way.
Is the entire game gonna be in the flat? Also, he didn't give her the brooch. Interesting. Is the entire game gonna be in this flat? What a brave concept. That's a brave concept.
The police have marked out several pieces of evidence that are likely related to the attack. However, Mrs. Doer handed me a brooch that was found at the scene. Mr. Morgan later confirmed it belonged to Charlotte May. Could the brooch be a missing piece of the puzzle?
Answer question to solve evidence board. Connect the pin from the question to the relevant piece of evidence. Okay.
I wonder if finding where the brooch was dropped could help build a better picture of the attacker's movements.
Connect evidence. Let's see. All right. Trash can? Oh, I see. Where was the brooch dropped? Well, it must have been dropped here. Solved.
So, if Mrs. Doer was right about where she found the brooch, it means the kidnapper must have come past her manor house at some point during the abduction. I forgot to give Catherine the brooch.
Forgot.
There just hasn't been a good time. It sounds like I have mail.
You've got mail.
Now what's this?
It's a threat. Don't do anything. I know where you live. I apologize for my shortness last night, Mr. Conway. I realized you were trying to help me. I've already told the police, but the only people I think could have taken my Charlotte May are our neighbors. The McKees, Harold Levy, Shirley Downs, and old Mrs. Doer all have access to the courtyard. You said yourself, and I think you might be onto something. More eyes on the case can only be a good thing. Thank you again for offering to help, T. Morgan. Well, we clearly don't know enough about all of these people to know who kidnapped the kid, what their motives would be, or anything like that. The old woman has a large enough place to be able to hide a kid, and she clearly had affection for the kid before the kidnapping. But most old women like kids, so that's not unusual. And it's also not unusual for a widow to live in an old big house. We've got the landlord guy. He's rude, he's gruff, he's creepy. Shirley Downs thinks that he gets up to, well, let's say criminal things. But I don't really get the vibe that he's a kidnapper. We would need more information about him and about what he does behind the scenes before we could decide. That leaves the McKees and Cheryl Downs. Or Shirley Downs. I'm guessing the McKees, but we just don't have enough information.
Mr. Morgan's note implicates most of his neighbors. I had suspected as much, but now I have something solid to work with. Catherine has asked me not to get involved, but I've already promised Mr. Morgan I'll find Charlotte May. I should have told Catherine there and then. I'm already involved.
Yes, you should have. Who kidnapped Charlotte May?
I can feel it again. That drive, that first pull at the yarn. It's all on this evidence board. Suspects, victims, items found at the scene. I have everything. All that remains is to watch over my neighbors until one of them makes a mistake. And I can still give Catherine her space. If the whole town is searching the Pinewoods, someone needs to keep an eye over Dahlia View.
This is like every retiree's fantasy. Something awful happening in your little cul-de-sac. And all you gotta do is look out the window. This is really pretty, though. I'm really enjoying this so far. despite the wheelchair.
I've been sitting watching my neighbors on and off for hours, but I've seen nothing of any use for my evidence board. Tony Morgan suggested that the McKees were acting strangely around Charlotte May. I heard Theodore return home earlier this evening, but didn't manage to get a glimpse. Charlotte May is counting on me to find her, but so far I've drawn a blank.
Charlotte May doesn't know you exist, buddy.
Perhaps the McKees are innocent. Only time will tell.
The McKees.
Annabelle and Theodore seemed normal enough when we spoke last night. By their account, they didn't seem much at all. Why would Mr. Morgan ask me to watch them? Theodore appears to be waiting for her. He seems quite eager to talk.
Ooh, what?
Theodore looks unhappy about I don't know what. He's pacing back and forth. It seems heated.
Oh, there's a stamp! We gotta get the stamp for our collection.
He's evicting one of my neighbors. It's not related to the McKees. I still have no idea what the problem is. Perhaps this is what Mr. Morgan was talking about.
What is she listening for?
Now, Annabelle has seen something.
Yeah.
Just out of my view. Whatever it is, she's horrified by it. What on earth is it?
What is going on?
What are you thinking, Annabelle? What can you see?
Is there like a mirror? Oh!
It's too far away. I'll have to zoom in. Is that blood? It's draining from their pantry.
Knife!
She's got a knife.
Oh.
Oh, Jesus. She's going to... No. She wants Theo to use it.
This is super creepy, but super fun. What? I feel weird peeping at these poor people.
He doesn't know which one to use. it.
Don't do it, Theo. No. Say no to
Whatever
her.
it is, take pause of yourself.
You don't have to do it. You don't want to do it. Don't do it. He's just going to smash a rat. That's what it is. It's just a rat. It's a rat.
Theo,
It's just a rat.
who are you talking to? Is that a practice swing? Dear God.
No, not a
What
rat.
have I just witnessed?
I mean, there's already blood. There was blood draining from there.
Some time has passed since I saw Theo hit something with a mallet. I didn't actually see anything. No proof. I have no evidence at all.
40 minutes later, Preston Garvey says this guy's voice sounds like Clive Owen.
Annabelle is back at the door.
Okay, hurry. Go. Go!
What in God's name?
Shit! What are you doing?
Well, if you would help me.
I'm not touching that thing.
Oh my God.
That thing was your idea.
My idea.
It's too small to be. Oh, it could be a child. Could be a child. I'm thinking it's a dog or a pet. It's a dead cat. Or something like that. They're getting rid of a dead animal.
Oh,
Christ. Get it out of here.
what the hell do you think I'm doing?
Hurry up!
It's got to be a dead pet. Just like a huge rat.
Mr. Morgan.
Hello, Annabelle.
Lovely evening.
Yes, I suppose so. Please, if you don't mind, I have something...
It's just all so sad, isn't it?
Please, I really do need to be going.
I'm so sorry, of course.
It's fine, Annabelle.
Tony, look at
If
Theodore.
there's anything I can do...
Ask him what's wrapped in that rug.
You won't hesitate to ask?
Damn it, what should I do? Catherine asked me not to get involved. But this... It's not over until it's over. I think I need to pay the McKees a personal call.
Oh, man. The Raging Krogan says, old man taking photos of people? Yeah, not creepy. This is super creepy. Like this, I feel weird.
I've barely slept at all.
I feel really weird.
I can't fully explain what I observed last night, and I can't shake the image of Charlotte May in the McKee's pantry, lying there, helpless.
"9 a.m. Conway's flat. All right.
When Charlotte May is found, I need to take another holiday. Catherine would love to see Pinwheel again, I'm sure. I thought the days of me developing reel after reel of film were behind me. I almost miss it, bar the mess.
British intelligence saves the day. King's Regiment officer Robert Conway's quick thinking under fire led to saving the lives of over 20 men when a radio transmission was intercepted. Staff Sergeant Michael Williams said that Conway, 22, decoded the transmission in record time. A scouting party was about to be sent directly into enemy territory when, moments before, Robert Conway sprang into action and managed to steal a Jerry radio and intercept the battle plans. The 20 men he saved later proved to be vital in the war effort. For more, turn to page 5. Blue Thunder says, "Oh man, a Peeping Tom game. Hopefully there's no unforeseen action." You know what I mean? I mean, the game page didn't say anything about nudity or sexual content, so I think I should be okay. It's still really creepy, but hopefully we won't get into that area. The Raging Krogan says, "I don't want to know what he does with photos." I mean, he develops them to solve cases. He may be a little creepy, but he's doing it for the best of reasons. Medicine. Butabarbitan, butasol sodium, Robert Conway. Unread notepad entries. Annabelle McKee. Annabelle was forcing Theo to use the mallet in the pantry. It's clear to me that she's in charge of their relationship. Theo spent a great deal of time debating whether or not to bludgeon whatever was in that pantry. Violence clearly doesn't come easy to him. It's apparent that Theo was uncomfortable transporting the rug to the boot of the car. It suggests that Annabelle is in charge and that Theo will do anything for her. Why would they keep a girl in the pantry, though? Like, she also seemed to be pretty surprised. Developing film in the 20th century. I think it's got to be an animal. Some sort of animal. Rent receipt.
Damn.
R. Conway, tenant of 23 Dahlia View Terrace, has paid blank in rent on the 23rd of May 1954 to the landlord Harold Levy. Landlord signature H. Levy. It's blank. Rent receipt. Did he forget to pay his rent because he got too caught up in the mystery?
The police are searching out in Riverport. They haven't seen what I have, and it's too soon to involve them. What if I'm wrong? I miss you, old friends.
We can't zoom in. Can we zoom in? This poor old man lost his legs. His daughter has grown up. Wife nowhere to be seen. His friends are all off doing other things. And here he is in his cul-de-sac, solving crimes by peeping out windows. God, this poor guy.
Oh, these are developing nicely.
Okay, but why? That's it?
All set up and ready to go. Now, to gather some evidence from the McKees.
Okay, so that's his studio. Case solved.
My old case files. Some I'd rather forget.
Well, it's a shame fast
I'll
travel.
need my bag if I'm going to gather any real evidence.
It's a shame fast travel isn't a thing. We gotta roll our way there. Oh, that's new.
She's worked so hard to get where she is.
Gianna says, "Hey, Oxen fam, hope everyone is doing well. Went bowling with my family for my birthday today. I was so far below my average scores. Hey, don't fret. I, too, am rusty at bowling. But happy birthday, Gianna." Oh, physics glitch. Bag. Gotta get a bag. Let's see if we can find a bag.
Annabelle, I will find your secrets.
It's really weird that he can just peer into the windows of all of his neighbors. Okay. I don't think there's anything else in the flat. Let's get out of here. Oh, wait, no, this is his workroom. Unread notepad entries. Dig out my investigation tools from the office. Okay.
Now, to find out what the McKees were doing in that pantry.
New objective. From my observations, the McKees clearly have something to hide. I need to find out what was in that pantry. Gain entry to the McKees flat, explore the pantry to see what I can find.
It's not much to go on as of yet. I'll see to that.
I'm trying to go. This is going here. Yeah. I have to do everything. I gotta push the button. I gotta roll to the elevator. I gotta go down it. I gotta go down the ramp. There's no fast travel in this game.
If the McKees really did kill Charlotte May last night, then there must be some evidence left in their pantry.
No, is that not how I get out?
I wonder if there's anything left to find at all. What if I'm too late?
Well, they should be.
Bleach. The McKees have been busy.
He smells bleach. before we knock. See if there's anything else. No. Okay. Hey, got a cup of sugar?
Hello?
Hello, Mrs. McKee. We spoke a few days ago.
Yes, please call me Annabelle.
Annabelle, of course. I'm sorry it's taken me so long to get around to you.
That's fine. I'm sorry, how is it I can help, Mr. Conway?
Well, it's all a bit sensitive, I'm afraid. I wondered if I might have a word in private, if you would.
Well,
Mrs. McKee, Annabelle, I'd rather not state my purpose out here in the hallway where any one of your neighbors might be listening. Wouldn't you agree?
Of course. Why don't you step inside for a moment?
Excellent idea. I promise not to take up too much of your time. I'm sure you have your hands full.
So, what's the purpose of all this, Mr. Conway? I hope it's not about what we... Well, why don't you get to it?
Of course. Well, it's actually quite simple. I'm sure you've heard that I was once a private investigator. Well, nonetheless, Mr. Morgan has asked me if I would look into everyone who knew Charlotte May.
I see. And so you've come to look at us?
Look, let me be straight. I've been an investigator my entire life, and I have a sense about people, you might say.
Is that so?
I don't think you or your husband have anything to hide. In fact, this might be a waste of time altogether, but I think it would put Mr. Morgan's mind at ease if I ask some basic questions anyway. What do you say?
Well, however we can help. As long as it's not too long is all.
Oh, no, of course not. All I need you to do is tell me, in your own words, what you did on the night that Charlotte May was taken.
Right. But I thought you...
Before you begin, I'm sorry to ask, but would you mind if I used your lavatory?
No, not at all. It's right behind you.
Thank you. And please, Annabelle, you look worried. I'm sure you had nothing to do with it. She's lying. It's written all over her. Time to find out why.
Accessibility, no hold and drag. If enabled, hold and drag interactions now only require a press? Oh. Doctor's letter. Mrs. A. McKee, regarding our previous appointment, I regret to inform you that the pain in your lower abdomen is most likely due to complications during the early stages of your first trimester? Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. I don't like where this is going. I would very much like to have a follow-up appointment with you as soon as possible to discuss the certainty that your pregnancy will not come to full term. All things considered? Oh, no. What is going on? Please call the surgery at your nearest convenience to book another appointment. Kindest regards, Dr. Smith.
It's a doctor's note addressed to Annabelle.
Oh.
She was experiencing some pain. She was expecting a baby, but no longer is.
What happens if we leave the water on? It turns off. Okay.
Now what do we have here?
Mr. Conway? Can I offer you a cup of tea?
Yes, 4 sugars.
That'll give me more time, maybe?
I thought she'd never leave.
Hello.
A tram ticket.
Possible evidence found. Mrs. A. McKee, one-day peak time return Tuesday the 22nd of June from Riverport to Turing City.
It's Annabelle's. The night that Charlotte May went missing. Destination is out of town.
She went out of town.
Annabelle clearly didn't use this tram ticket.
Oh no, she was going to, but she didn't use it. Of course, because she still has the ticket. Do I need to do each individual piece of soap? Probably not. God, after reading that note in the trash, I'm mortified to learn what her husband was hitting with a hammer. It caused all that blood. Oh, they did that on purpose to make us think that. Okay. I guess I'm not done. That's right, we got to close the door.
I apologize. Where were we? Ah, yes. You were going to tell me what you were doing on the night that Charlotte May was taken.
I've been thinking about it, and there's not much to say.
Literally anything would help.
Well, I remember it clearly. I think everyone here knows exactly where they were. It was so shocking. I'd made Theo his tea in the afternoon at about 3 and wrapped it up for him to have later. He was working all day over at Levy's garage and performing later that night. I went to the shops at some point, I think. I didn't see Charlotte May at all that day, and I was out of town for most of the night. I think the last time I saw her was on the Wednesday. She was playing outside between her homeschooling, as I recall.
I'll stop you there if you don't mind. As interesting as it is to know what you were doing leading up to the event, I think it might be more beneficial to talk about what you and your husband were doing whilst Charlotte May was being taken.
Right. I see. What time was that?
You don't remember clearly. I was sitting in my flat at the time. 10 o'clock is when I first noticed something was happening. I had a good view from my window. I imagine you'd have a good view from your kitchen window also. Perhaps even your pantry.
Actually, Mr. Conway, I'm sorry. I feel awfully uncomfortable talking about this, without Theo here. I think it's best I don't answer anything he might object to.
You're right. I completely agree. He usually takes his break around now, does he not?
Perhaps.
Would it be possible for you to go and get him so that we might continue the conversation?
I don't think that's a good idea, Mr. Conway. In fact, I think I'd feel better if we ended the conversation here, if it's all the same to you.
Uh-oh.
No, you're right.
Uh-oh.
If you don't feel it appropriate, then best not to bother him.
Thank you.
Well, I was hoping to clear it all up today, you see. I'd hate to have to bother you tomorrow or the day after.
There you go.
Even the day after that.
There you go, yeah.
It's not in my character to be a nuisance. However, I did promise Mr. Morgan. Perhaps I'll return later on.
Wait. If it's not going to take too long, I could fetch him now, and we could resolve the matter.
Mrs. McKee, if you would do that for me, it would put Mr. Morgan's mind at ease, I'm sure of it.
Christ. Okay, well, I think it's best you come with me.
I fear I'd only slow you down. The stairs, you see. No, I'll wait here for your return.
Fine, just wait here.
I promise I won't steal any stamps. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna steal any stamps. Got any stamps?
Now, to get that key down.
No, to get the stamps. Where's the stamps? It was by the window. It's right there. There's the stamp right there. Aha! Stamp.
She never did make me that cup of tea.
4 sugars.
A rug has been steam cleaned. The same one they carried out last night.
Riverport Steam
The
and
dates
Repair.
don't match up.
Mrs. McKee, I've done the best I can to remove the red wine stain from the rug. I don't think there's much more I can be doing for you. It was a nasty stain, to be sure, but it's very faint now. The rug looks pretty new. Maybe you can return it and get another. I'm sorry I couldn't be more help. Sue. Wine stain, eh?
The police are still here. I hope Catherine doesn't see me like this.
Okay. Well, how am I going to get that? It's on top. I hope it's not timed. I hope I can explore first. Recipe book. Downs family recipes. To my darling daughter, Annabelle and Shirley, love Mum. To my darling daughters, Annabelle and Shirley, love Mum. It's a family recipe book. New Age Woman, how to maintain your home and marriage. Dominoes, dominoes. Tuesday, dinner with Shirley.
Shirley and Annabelle are very close. They meet every week.
Every week on Tuesday.
Shirley and Annabelle are very close. They meet every week.
Lord of the Rings book out today. Buy for Ash.
I have no idea what that is.
He doesn't know what Lord of the Rings is. Theo rehearsal with C.J. Chapman.
Theo is a performer.
Pick up new ration card.
The sooner rationing ends, the better. The war ended 9 bloody years ago.
Gig time changed to 3 p.m. Cousin Allie christening St. Michael's 10 a.m.
Lovely.
My birthday. Theo, don't forget. My recordings. Interrupted vinyl. Need to go back. I stole a record.
Theo's room, no doubt.
No, my baby don't care for me, just because she says she do. If my baby really cared for me, she wouldn't leave me feeling blue.
Theo, where have the pencils gone?
Annabelle, you can't hear I'm recording.
Sorry, I don't know the difference. You know that.
Well, check next time. These vinyls are too expensive to waste.
Theo, all I want is a pencil.
Try the living room.
Well, why would you even leave it in there?
Oh, God, Lord. I'm going to have to start this whole thing over again.
New clue found. New bio entry. They have lost a child. The note was in the bin, which leads me to wonder if Theo knows about it. Theo is musically gifted. Perhaps he's wasted working for Harold Levy. And the song he sang was that his girl doesn't care for him. And then she proved it during the recording. Wood carving. Cello bowl, bow. Take it. I can take the cello bowl, the bow. What do I need the cello bowl for? Oh. Hello. Another wood carving. It's a woman. The man is on display. The woman is not. Another vinyl.
Locked. How does one open a piano front? Something's blocking these keys from the other side. Music sheets. Presumably Theo's songs. I don't know a great deal about musical instruments, but this doesn't look expensive.
The cello bowl? I need to find something. Or not.
Now, what do you know?
Piano pin. New clue. I should search the flat whilst Annabelle is fetching Theo for anything I can use from my evidence board. Is there something blocking the piano keys from the inside? Theo mentioned he left a pencil in the living room. There was a pin in the piano flap that could be of use. No?
He's a slob.
Aha! Aha! Money!
45 pounds? If I were a lesser man, I'd take it and live comfortably for the rest of the year. There's no way Theo's boss pays him this much.
45 pounds. All right. Let's put this back up. They'll know. Can I put it back the way it was? Oh no. She's gonna know. How do I put it back? Guess I can't. All right, let's play the other record. Oh, I had to take it. All right, this is an instrumental track. I can't use the pen anymore, and I can't take it out. So I can't put things back the way they were. Okay. Yeah, I can't put the record back. Right, let's go get the key that was on top of the chest. Wait a minute. We didn't explore down here.
I wonder what was last written on this notepad.
Pencil. What was the last written on the hallway notepad? Well, we need a pencil to find out.
Annabelle was spraying this as we talked. Hiding a smell in the pantry, no doubt.
Anything in there? No. Okay. Ooh.
There's a note in the fireplace. I can't get it out with my bare hands.
There's a burnt note in the fireplace. Is this important? Okay. Can't get it out with bare hands. Is there a poker? Take charcoal. I need, like, tongs or something.
Annabelle was fiddling with things on here. Most likely guilt and nervousness. Nothing interesting.
But the pencil is in the living room, he said. Well,
I can't stand to see an incomplete picture.
come on. All right. Pencil. I had an argument with Shirley today. I hate it when we argue, and I know she means well, but sometimes I just need someone to listen and not judge. I said some things that I'm not proud of. Shirley means everything to me, and I can't bear the thought of losing her, but when she told me to grow up and take responsibility, I couldn't handle it. I told myself I'd be a better person this year. It's time to apologize and show her that I love her as much as she loves me. A sister's love is forever. She must have told her about the pregnancy. And her sister told her to grow up and deal with it, I guess. That wasn't what she wanted to hear. Hey. I'm getting all the stamps. Don't come home. Don't come home. Please don't come home. Call doctors back. Cello case, 1932. H, free from 8 p.m. Tuesday the 22nd. Bring a change of clothes. Make sure Theo's gig is still on first. Okay, do I have to complete the whole paper before it gives me an option to take a photograph of it?
Now that's something. Oh, there's no date. I can't link it to the kidnapping.
Where's your cello case? Ah.
Bingo. Theo has a sister back home somewhere.
Theo, I'm so happy you wrote us back. Mother needs that medicine desperately. The doctor says she could die. I have to ask you to be quick, as she's getting worse by every day. It's a blood thinning medicine she needs. I think you can get it only in your country, and it's very expensive. Thank you again. By the way, how is my English? You taught me well, big brother. I hope that soon, one day, I will come to stay with you in your big fancy house in England. Until then, I will keep this house running. I'm the woman of the house now while mother is ill. Please write back soon to me, Theo. All my love, Latrice. Possible evidence found.
So Theo's family need money for medicines.
What's that arrow pointing down? Oh. Okay. Sweetness had to die. Something in my mind knows I was wrong. I know I shouldn't have done it. Now you're gone. Sweetness had to die. My love said goodbye. Now all I have is my guilt and this song. Really? Try to be as guilty as possible. What a song. Possible evidence found.
Sweetness had to die. He's feeling a lot of guilt. Is this a confession? Oh, there's nothing specific at all.
He could be talking...
It's not evidence without context.
He could be talking about his unborn child, though. Not necessarily the child that's missing. Okay. Now for the pantry. Is it getting dark outside? Right. Right. Okay, what do I do? Come on. Oh.
It's moving. Almost there. Come on.
Yay!
Well, that was easier than I thought.
Wyoming Homesteader says Oxhorn tools on the side of the fireplace. Really? Because I didn't see them. Which side of the fireplace, though? There are two sides. Oh, right there. My God. There we go. Fire poker.
Seems to be a list of medicines.
Ooh to God. Paracetamine, product code 1224. Alright, well, we already know that his mom needs a blood thinning medicine. Migraine relief. Abscess, tonsil infection. Warfadyne product code, blood thinning tablets available from January 19th, 1954. So Warfadyne. Oh, Penizen spray, blood thinning oral spray. Okay. Theo's family lives in Jamaica. He seems very close to them despite the distance. Theo's sheet music suggested that he's harboring a lot of guilt. Perhaps he feels bad about Charlotte May? Maybe. Got 3 stamps now. Okay. To the pantry. What? Okay, not there. Try this one. That worked.
Charlotte, were you in here?
The pantry.
Give me something.
Okay, so there's the drain that was leading outside. Something was bludgeoned here. Need a screwdriver. Baguette. Bread. Autumn stock. Ottoman stock.
They have an allotment. Good idea.
Well, it's just food.
It's well stocked.
Very well stocked.
Nothing useful.
Bleach.
Looks as though they scrubbed the place clean last night.
Possible evidence found. This product is for domestic use only. Store in a cool, dry place. Keep away from small children. Wear protective gloves and prolonged use where possible. Although lemon scented, this product is not for consumption. Hey, screwdriver. Here we go. Paladin Dance's girlfriend says, is the casting of Frank Stone on your list already? Sorry if duplicate question. I tried playing, but got too scared. That's a good sign. It is on my list, but as I described at the beginning of the broadcast, I'm having technical problems preventing me from playing it due to their use of Unreal Engine 5. So, I need to fix that before I can play the game.
Please let me be wrong. bleached head to toe. I'm too late. There's nothing left to see. Damn. It's Annabelle's sister.
Can I put the screws back? No.
Are you there? I love you, Annie. You know that, don't you? Everything is still right. I say it because I need to protect you. Anyway, I'm taking you through that together. I love you.
Posting the key back through the door. I love you. Okay, Shirley has dropped off the spare keys for Annabelle's flat. Hey, perfect timing. Maybe I can use the key to go to the basement. She shoved them through the door. Let's try that one. It's not a basement.
You can tell a lot about a person from their bedroom. This is clearly Annabelle's space.
Search the flat. Aha.
Annabelle Meredith McKee, I can't believe what you've done. You should have come to me with this. I'm your sister, for God's sake. I would have talked you out of it. Let's just be thankful that Mother isn't alive to see you disgrace yourself. You should have told me. I'm furious at you, but I promise I'm still here for you. We're sisters and that won't change. Your secret is safe with me, but I think we need to talk soon. Yours, Shirley. She, had an abortion?
Surely Theo's wage can't pay for all this. Expensive lipsticks. Blue mist. Looks brand new.
Annabelle has expensive taste. If Theo is paying for it all, then it begs the question how they're getting the money. Why is the McKee's betting box locked? A sister's love is forever, a shoulder to lean on. When or wherever, a love built to last, strong and steadfast. A sister's love is forever. A sister's love is forever, Earrings. Only one.
Shirley and Annabelle are close sisters. I don't know what they're currently arguing about, but they seem to love each other very much. Good to know. It needs something to wind it.
Ah.
More bleach. I spoke too soon. What on earth is inside?
Aha! We found the winder.
Smells fresh. Well, the whole place is clean. Annabelle is obsessed with cleaning.
Not a bad thing. But then again, she probably doesn't have much to do. So yeah, she cleans. Why is the bedding locked? Shirley loves Annabelle enough to have a custom engraved music box made for her. Annabelle keeps a spotless home. I wonder if she was this tidy before whatever happened in the pantry.
They had a view of Mr. Morgan's home. They could have easily seen Charlotte May every day.
Interesting.
Absolutely spotless. You'd never even know a mechanic lived here.
Wait. I forgot the cabinets under the sink. Oh, I can't open them. Ah!
Is Annabelle having an affair?
I enjoyed seeing you the other night. We should do it again soon. I hope you enjoyed the blue mist. That stuff isn't cheap, but you're worth it, my dear. Call me 3283.
Clean bedding. Now what's this then?
The mallet.
This is it. The mallet I saw Thea use last night. I've got you. Did you hit Charlotte May with this? Damn, the McKees are coming back.
Well then, what do you want me to say?
I don't know, just stall him. He's been in there for ages.
Why did you leave him then?
Do you really want me to go through that right now?
Okay. Just don't say anything that he might...
Get out of the bedroom, dude!
He might what?
Well, you know how you are.
Do you really think I'm that stupid? Now shh. Let's just go inside.
I'm waiting for you.
Crap, I had an opportunity to lock the door. No!
Hello, Mr. Conway.
Hello, Theodore.
Anne says Tony Morgan asked you to investigate his daughter's disappearance?
That's right, but I'm sure she's also told you that it's merely a formality.
I was just telling Mr. Conway he's wasting his time, because we don't know anything about it.
Aren't you retired, Mr. Conway?
Well, I'm not here officially, Mr. McKee, just as a friend of Tony Morgan's. But I do appreciate you making the time.
Well, like Anne said, we had nothing to do with Charlotte May, so I don't know how I could help. And I don't have long, I'm afraid. Mr. Levy isn't very happy with me stepping out of work.
I appreciate it all the same.
Well, shall we move into the living room?
Of course. Please, after you.
Oh, no!
I'll be with you in a moment.
Now, please, I'd like to know what you were doing at the time of the attack, if you wouldn't mind. Maybe start at 10 p.m.
10 p.m.?
Oh, she notices the key's gone.
Well, I was at a gig that night, so I was playing down at the Sugar Ducks men's club. Harold, my boss, hasn't paid me for a few months, so I've had to start making money elsewhere. I remember I got home around 10:40, I think. I went straight into my music room. I had a song in my head I just had to get out. So nothing to do with Charlotte May.
You say you had to start making money elsewhere.
A little, yes.
A little.
Like I said, Harold Levy hadn't been paying me, so...
Why not, if you don't mind me asking?
I think he has a few money problem. It's not my place to ask, and he doesn't tell me everything.
Just that he's not paying you.
Sure.
So how much money have you made elsewhere?
Enough to get by.
Well, that's all any of us can hope for, isn't it? I have trouble paying my bills myself, as you can probably imagine. You'll have to tell me your secret, where you make your extra cash.
I'm sorry. What does this have to do with Charlotte May?
Hopefully nothing. I'm sorry. We're off topic. You will forgive me.
It's fine, Mr. Conway. Should I carry on?
Please do. Where were we? Ah, yes. You were saying you'd entered your music room.
Anyway, I think I was in my music room all the way up until...
I'll be with you both in a second. Don't wait for me.
Okay, my love. I was in my room until Anne called me out. She heard a smash or something. Anne was visiting a friend that night, but I think she was back just before me. And I think she was in her bedroom. So, by all accounts, she's the one who heard it.
Visiting a friend?
What was the name of her friend, if you don't mind me asking?
I don't remember.
Really?
She's out with them quite a lot, though.
Why doesn't she attend your performances?
I don't think jazz is her thing.
Oh, that's a shame. That every time you perform, she's elsewhere.
I see. You're wondering if she could have taken Charlotte May whilst I was gigging? No way.
The thought had crossed my mind, but if you say no, then I have to take you at your word.
You don't know Anne, Mr. Conway. There's no way she would do something like taking a child.
I believe you, Mr. McKee.
Good. I know you're asking for Tony Morgan, but you're way off.
I apologize. And Annabelle seems so lovely, so I hate to have asked.
It's okay.
He's
So,
good.
where were you?
He's good.
So anyway, it couldn't have been Anne or me, you see, because we weren't here most of the night. And in any case, the Sugar Ducks are a good 20-minute walk away. People would have noticed if I was missing from my gig, wouldn't you think? I'm sorry, I'm confused. Is this all you want to know? What I was doing that night? Nothing else?
What else do you think I might want to know?
I'm not sure. This just isn't what I'd expected. I thought that... It doesn't matter. You were saying...
Well, what is it that's confusing you? Is everything okay?
Yes, I'm fine. We've not been ourselves since Charlotte May was taken. I'm sure you can understand.
Well, I wouldn't be here now if all was right in the world.
Well, all is right here, Mr. Conway.
Good to know. Please continue.
Sorry about that. I was making sure that things were, where we left them.
I was just saying that Mr. Conway is wasting his time, because we were both out of town for most of the night. Isn't that right, my love? You were at a friend's, weren't you? You already paid for a tram ticket. That's why you couldn't come to the gig.
Well, actually, Theo, I wanted to talk to you about that, but it can wait till later.
Talk to me about what? Tell him you're out of town.
Don't you have to get back to work?
Actually, I think I do have to go, Mr. Conway. I'm sorry I couldn't be more help. You'll excuse me.
Thank you for your time, Theodore.
And she is staring daggers at me. She walked all over this house while I was talking to Theodore. She saw the bedroom door open. She saw the cello case open. She saw the poker missing. I'm currently holding like 5 things from her house. And she is just staring at me with hatred. I finished her puzzle. The last piece. I had to put it in. Okay.
So you paid for your tram ticket? I wonder what good a ticket is if you don't end up using it. Perhaps you forgot where you were that night.
Mr. Conway, I think you've more than outstayed your welcome. I don't know why I agreed to talk to you in the first place. You must think me awfully dense if you think I don't know what you were doing while I was gone. I don't want to see or hear from you again. Do you understand? This is a job for the police, not some old has-been playing detective.
Playing? You think this is a game? Well, you'll forgive me if I don't see the fun side to abducting a small child and bludgeoning her to death with a mallet.
Get out, now.
I think that went as well as could have been expected.
Do you? Okay. I missed the QuickTime event that would have allowed me to lock the door. Damn. But I don't think it was them. I don't think it was them. I don't know what they bludgeoned in the pantry.
From talking to the McKees, it seems apparent that they were both in Dahlia View at the time Charlotte May was taken. Annabelle and Theo were clearly hiding something. I observed them getting rid of a rolled-up rug and saw Theo use a mallet for God only knows what. I can't currently prove it relates to Charlotte May, and a few questions still remain.
Can I prove the mallet was used to hit something living?
I'm positive that Charlotte May was in that pantry.
Really?
Can I prove the mallet was used to hit something living?
We're positive that she was in the pantry?
I'm positive that Charlotte May was in that pantry. But can I prove the mallet was used to hit something living?
How are we positive that Charlotte May was in that pantry?
£45 is a large sum. In my experience, the kind of money made on the black market. Theo doesn't seem like someone driven by greed. So what possible motive could compel him to kidnap and sell a young girl?
What could motivate Theo to kidnap and sell a young girl? Mother needs medicine. £45. 1231 blood thinning product. That'll do it. Gosh. The exact amount of money we found in the piano is precisely the amount of money necessary to buy medicine 1231, which is a blood thinning medication. Okay, I'm going to connect what I know. Can only connect on main board. What? Evidence board. Oh.
£45 is a large sum. In my experience, the kind of money made on the black market. Theo doesn't seem like someone driven by greed. So what possible motive could compel him to kidnap and sell a young girl?
We've got medicine. We've got the blood thinner. Sugar Docks Men Club. Use with other chemicals can result in toxic fumes. Maybe he killed an animal with a mallet to put it out of its misery. Okay, so what if we move that, and we move that, then we go over there, and then we connect this to toxic fumes, and we connect this to Not for consumption.
I need to look at every single detail there is.
No. So I've only got 2 pins that I can place there. I've got 3 pins that I can place there. Silverbrook robbery subject released without charge. Charlotte May Morgan abducted Tuesday the 22nd of June. 3-wheeler. I can't read that. Stolen vehicles. Vehicles missing or presumed stolen. 3-wheeler Yellow Sparrow Carnival. Ladybird. Hatchet. Okay, so this is probably for something else, because I didn't cover any of this. Antiquities Silver Specialist. Put that back. Oh. $400G. Okay, so we've got a few pieces. Oh, there's a white powder there. Oh, okay. So that's the... All right. So if we bring that there, and then we bring that there, and we bring that there, we move that there, and we connect this to... Contact with blood or other bodily fluids may result in salty deposits. And then we connect this evidence to the salty deposit on the mallet. Review theory.
Good. Now to sort out everything else.
Solved. Okay, that leaves one more. We've got the money.
£45 is a large sum. In my experience, the kind of money made on the black market. Theo doesn't seem like someone driven by greed. So what possible motive could compel him to kidnap and sell a young girl?
Both arrived home before the attack, but she didn't hear Theo arrive. She was back before Theo. She never attended Theo's gig. I don't think that has anything to do with it. Maybe he got paid by playing a gig. So let's move that over. Set that there. Make a little extra room. He got the 45 by playing a gig at the Sugar Docks Men Club.
I need to make sure I'm scouring all of the evidence.
No, that's not it. So he did hit something bloody with a mallet. It's 45 pounds. This medicine is 45 pounds. 1231. 1231 blood thinning. Not, oh, but it's not suitable for people over the age of 21. Oh my God. I didn't fully read it, so that wouldn't work. Well, what's another blood thinning agent under 45 pounds? 1227, blood thinning tablets. The first one I mentioned, warfaridine. So it could be warfaridine. It could be Yeah, let's try warfaridine. Warfaridine is 1227.
There must be some small detail here.
Mother needs medicine desperately. You taught me well, big brother. All my love, Latrice. So her name doesn't matter. The fact that she's a sister doesn't matter. What matters is that he needed medicine for his mother. He needs blood thinning medicine that can only be found in this country. Okay. So, available from January 19th, 1954. Oh. Well, it could be the spray product. But he's got more money than necessary. Well, not quite enough. Let's try 1228.
There must be a detail I'm missing on some of the evidence.
I think you're looking for motive, so he didn't get paid, says Sinchferno. He didn't get paid by his boss.
There must be some small detail I'm missing on some of the evidence.
But this is the gig. He played a gig at the Sugar Docks. That's extracurricular. That's not part of his job. What could motivate Theo to kidnap the girl? It would be his sick mother and the medicine. Oh, I see. I see. So we're not trying to figure out where the money came from. We're looking for the motive. And the motive is that he wasn't paid in months. I see what you're saying. But did I choose the right one? No.
I should read every detail on the evidence.
So that goes back to warfaridine, which is 1227.
Oh, that's it. The mallet must have been used to hit something living. The crystallization proves it. Then they carried it down to the boot of a car. The only possible motive I can see is that Theo needed money to pay for his mother's medication. A life for a life. Could Theo really be that cold? I got the impression that Annabelle was in charge. It's not enough. I can't accuse them without something solid. I'll have to keep an eye on the McKees and continue my investigation.
Hi, Dad.
Uh-oh.
Dad?
She can't see this.
I think we need a little chat about your neighbours.
Uh-oh.
The McKees?
Damn. I can't let her see this after I made a promise.
Now, why is this door closed? Dad, are you back there?
Perhaps I should just come out with it. I don't know.
Hello? No, it's his daughter. I'm afraid not. He must be out. I don't. I'm sorry, but... Right. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but... Good day to you too. Right.
I can't stop now. Not after what I've seen. I'll just have to make sure I find something that Catherine can use in her investigation. It's the only way she'll understand. I've spent the morning watching the McKees, waiting for them to make a mistake, to do something that proves them guilty of killing Charlotte May. But what if I'm wrong? What if I saw what I wanted to and there was nothing in that rug? If I had hard evidence, I would have told Catherine already. I have nothing but suspicions. I should be looking at everyone in Dahlia View. And Harold Levy is next on my list.
Levy's garage, 3 days missing.
Might have to zoom in a little further. Theo is working on the automobile I saw him put the rug into. I still have my eye on you.
Wasn't that white?
Harold is a large man. Large enough to carry a little girl and not slow him down.
Back in a bit, yeah? Don't mess up the paintwork.
I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, right.
There's a key taped to a plant pot outside Harold Levy's flat. Good to know. There appears to be a box of some importance under Harold's bed. Whatever it contains, he's not happy about it.
Theo, I need to step out for a moment. You alright watching the shop, yeah?
Okay.
It appears Harold keeps his keys on the wall in his kitchen. Good to know. Evicted already. That was fast. Harold must have forced them out. Harold Levy is unlocking Tony Morgan's door. Now he's entering. What is he thinking?
Oh.
This does not look like a social visit.
Oh.
What in God's name is he doing?
Oh,
He's
he's gonna rough
attacking
him up.
Mr. Morgan.
Dude just lost his daughter, really?
I should call the police. No. I should gather evidence. He's furious now. Mr. Morgan looks petrified. Did Harold take Charlotte May? Did he attack Tony the night she was taken?
Huh. That's an odd reaction.
I've never seen him like this.
Jesus.
You okay, boss?
Yeah.
You sure?
I said I'm fine.
Okay.
I have to do something. I doubt Harold will welcome me in the way the McKees did, but if he can enter another man's home, unannounced, well then so can I.
A little B&E, eh? I hope it's not a stealth mission. Really don't want to have to hide.
Harold Levy is leaving his flat. My patience is paid off.
Right. Observations. Objectives. Investigate Harold Levy's flat and find the box I observed. I need to find a way inside of Levy's flat. Investigate the box under Harold Levy's bed. There was something about Annabelle McKee that we didn't read. What was that? The untoward note in Annabelle's music box did not seem to be from her husband. I suspect an affair. Okay. Another stamp? Okay. Well, what was it doing here? Oh, best dad. He still drinks from it after all these years. He loves his daughter. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to end it there. I think it automatically saves. But there we go, ladies and gents. That's the game so far. I'm intrigued by it. I gotta say, I'm having a really good time solving these mysteries. I enjoy the art style. I think the voice acting is really on point. Feels really believable. So far, the case is really interesting. So yeah, I think I'd like to continue it. Let me know what you think in the chat and in the description or in the comment section below. I've got to head on out. I'm going to get some sleep. I got a video that I got to get done in time for Saturday. So that's a long day of work for me tomorrow. Looking forward to sharing it with all of you. I hope you guys are looking forward to watching it. Have a wonderful night. Get some sleep, and I'll see you tomorrow I'll see you Saturday with a brand new lore video. Bye-bye now.